Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My greatest fear is my daughter's snapping one day and actually killing me.
Do you get violent?
I do not hit her.
She grabbed a huge bottle and threw it at me.
I didn't throw it at her.
You never know what's going to trigger her.
Correct.
Would you beating her up and kicking her? Would that have anything to do with it?
I have not done that. This is just very weird how it turned around on me.
Yeah, isn't it funny how that happens? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. How are you? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Elizabeth reached out to me seeking help for someone she claims has been terrorizing and beating her for 4 years. She says if she had to create a criminal complaint against this person, it would read like this. The accused punched holes in the walls, spat in victim's face, kicked car, and threatened to break windows. Almost ran victim over with car, making her fly into the air and hit the ground, resulting in 2 broken teeth and scars to the face. Threatened her while holding a knife. So who does Elizabeth allege has been hitting, bullying, and attacking her all of these years? Well, the alleged perpetrator is right under her own roof because it's her 21-year-old daughter, Lindsay.
My daughter, Lindsay, is completely out of control.
I'm a very angry and violent person. Even as a young child, I had a lot of anger.
She started acting very angry towards me and her friends around the age of 10 when her grandfather died. When Lindsay was in the 6th grade, she had been banging her head against lockers.
I have no idea why I did that.
There were physical fights with all of her friends. She would say that she wanted to kill people.
Once I was being bullied by a girl, and I beat her up so bad I got secondary assault charges.
It seemed like the smallest thing would send her into a fit of rage. I thought she would grow out of it, but she never did.
Well, there was a car incident after that where Lindsay was behind the wheel and Elizabeth, her mother, ended up on the ground face down with 2 of her front teeth knocked out. Now, things went from bad to worse.
5 years ago, when Lindsay was 17 years old, her best friend, Kara, was killed in a car accident.
Since my best friend died, my anger and violence has definitely escalated.
Anything will set my daughter off. If I ask her to do something, or if she doesn't like the way an outfit fits.
When my mom talks down to me, I cannot control my anger.
When Lindsay's ready to explode, she almost looks dark in her eyes. Lindsay and I have gotten into physical fights. She's punched me, slapped me, kicked me, spit in my face, punched holes in walls.
My mother is also a very angry and violent person. My mom is no angel. My mom has punched me, slapped me, my mom has kicked me.
I've never hit my daughter.
If my mom says she's never hit me, she's a big fat liar.
Our fights have escalated to the point where the police have been called.
The police have been called dozens and dozens of times.
My daughter has even made threats to my life.
I've even threatened her with knives.
She has told me she will kill me, slit my throat. My greatest fear is her snapping one day and actually killing me.
My anger is caused by a lot of unresolved issues. It's like a ticking time bomb.
Okay, so you get that what you're doing is not okay.
Yeah, I do.
Do you have any feelings about what you do when you do it?
Yeah. I feel like it all led up to that point from being bullied so bad that I am very angry, and I need somebody to tell me why.
What are you so angry about?
I'm angry that my best friend was killed. I'm angry that my mom used to treat me horribly, and, you know, she used to beat me up when I was a kid. I'm angry that I was molested when I was a kid. I'm angry that my grandfather died. I'm angry that everybody that has ever been in my life has just walked away.
Yeah.
Just me.
Except you. And when you talked about this, you gave me a list, a litany. I mean, I wrote them down. You said you can just ask her to walk the dog and she spits in your face.
No.
You can ask her to do anything, and it can just set her off, just triggers her.
It gets her very angry.
And we ask you why, and you say, well, you know, you don't know. You never know what's going to trigger her.
Correct. And that's what scares me is her manic 0 to 60.
You just don't have any idea.
I don't know.
Would you
She
calling
feels
her
it
a bitch maybe have anything to do with it?
Me calling her that? Yes, I have.
Would you beaten her
I have not
up
beat her.
and throwing her in the floor and kicking her? Would
No,
that
I
have anything to do with it?
I have not done that.
You've not. She's lying about that.
Yes.
Would you throw in a bottle at her head and missing?
No, I did not do that.
You said you did throw something.
I
you just
threw
debated
it.
whether
I was cleaning it up. Right.
You just debated whether it was glass or plastic.
No, I didn't throw it at her. That's
You
the
said
thing.
you might have hit her on ricochet.
Right. I didn't throw it at her.
So you make a qualitative distinction as to whether she was your target or you were just throwing things in the room.
Right. And let me tell you, Lindsay's been through a lot, and I am not perfect, and I'm not here to make, you know, I'm here to get
actually, that's kind of the way you presented it, because I'm trying to figure out how we got where we got.
Right.
And you kind of presented this like, it's puzzle to me. You know, she's just an erratic, volatile, explosive child, and I have no idea why she's that way. And then when I dig in a little bit more, I mean, you're throwing bottles around the room, you're calling her ridiculous names. I actually cleaned that up a fair amount.
Okay.
I kind of get to the point, as you can
see this.
guess. You've seen the show before, right?
Yes.
I don't want to waste your time.
Sure.
And I won't let you waste mine.
She gets violent, and that's what concerns me.
Do you get violent?
I do not hit her. I do not hit her.
Do you get
violent?
violent?
Do I throw things? No.
Do you yell?
Yes.
Do you scream?
Yes.
Do you call her names?
At times.
Do you degrade her?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She definitely, I think the name's enough are degrading. I mean,
What does she call you?
Can I say it?
Yeah, I got to beep her.
She calls me a she calls me a bitch, a bitchy slut. She kind of puts together every word that could possibly be said.
Okay, take out 20% of what she said. You don't degrade her.
Okay, by saying that stuff, yes.
She would slap me. She would throw me up against the wall. I remember one time indistinctly that she did that, and it was terrifying. Then once I hit my teen years, yes, I stood up, and I finally was like, wow, I'm gonna stand up to her, and I did, and it ended up being physical. And once I realized that she realized that I was stronger than her, she decided to turn it and make herself the victim.
That's interesting. Listen, I take responsibility as a single mother. I became her friend, which was a bad idea.
You take responsibility starting, like, right now?
No, I've been saying it to your producers and everything.
Really? Let's listen to your submission tape as you take responsibility for what's going on with your daughter. Take a look at this.
Hi, Dr. Phil. I'm Elizabeth, Lindsay's mom, and we need you to intervene in our relationship because Lindsay has been violent, manic episodes since a teenager. She's gone through a lot of traumatic situations in her life, but she's been violent towards her friends, myself, and her now boyfriend. I need your help to intervene and hopefully give her the counseling that she needs. This isn't all, it's not all about Lindsay. I've done a lot.
Your tape seems like it was all about me.
Why am I making a big deal out of this?
Because I helped create this.
The police have been called several times to Elizabeth and Lindsay's home just this past year. Or have they? Elizabeth says no, but Lindsay says yes. We'll be right back. I see in your face that you want to argue about this.
I'm just blown away right now.
Really?
How it's kind of turned around on me.
Okay, is that what you got out of what I said? And later,
My name is Tyler Henry, and I'm Hollywood's go-to medium. I'm not a traditional psychic. Oh, and I'm only 19.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Rich traded in his headshot for a mugshot.
Before his family comes out,
Some things happened last night.
a candid one-on-one.
You get a double shot at tequila and you got no money. So they call us.
You're driving Dr. Phil stuff crazy. I always hated asking people for anything.
You have no problem asking us for anything.
That's Monday.
Once Lindsay had some friends over and they were drinking. I came home and the place was a complete mess. People were passed out on the couch. There were liquor bottles everywhere, and I was furious.
My mom flipped out. My mom and I got into a huge argument. She grabbed a huge glass bottle and threw it at me. It hit my head and I fell to the floor.
She says it was a glass bottle. It wasn't. It was a plastic bottle. Lindsay claims the bottle hit her in the head. It did not.
My mom came over and she started kicking me, and I just crawled into the fetal position. The cops were called. My mom was taken to court.
The case was dropped when Lindsay went to court and said she lied about the whole thing.
My mom told me to lie when I went to court because she didn't want to go to jail. I told the judge I was drunk, and I made the whole thing up.
She's lying about all of this. My daughter likes to make things up and cause a lot of drama.
The bottom line is my mom knows the truth. She told me to lie on the stand.
Well, it was 21-year-old Lindsay alleging that her mother threw a glass liquor bottle at her head, causing her to fall to the floor. But did Elizabeth run to help her daughter? Lindsay says, well, no. Instead, she claims her mother decided to kick her while she was down on the ground. However, Elizabeth says she's not the violent one. It's her daughter, Lindsay, who she claims hits and beats on her. I've done like 20,000 guests, so I know when there are those that are being hugely cooperative and forthcoming and those who are just don't quite ever seem to get us a hospital report of when you've been injured, or a police report if there was an incident, or documentation of something that may have happened. And we've asked you and asked you and asked you, but it just didn't happen. I see in your face that you want to argue about this.
No, I don't want to argue. I'm just blown away right now because this is just very weird.
Really?
How it was kind of turned around on me.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it funny how that happens sometimes?
Well, I mean, I don't have police reports because when she hit me with the car and all the other violent
Well, you
times.
said the police didn't come to your house. We asked you, you said no.
I know. I said recently one time I called the police on her, recently when she threw the dresser around. Since she's moved back with me, I don't recall police coming other than when the neighbor said we're too loud.
Okay, is that what you got out of what I said?
Yes.
I fear that you're going to leave here and say, you know, we never really got to anything. And then when you watch this at home, you're going to see because you wanted to be combative and argumentative about details that don't mean anything. But if that's how you want to spend your time, okay, here's the timeline. Thank you for providing this information.
No problem.
You say just one time, police have been called, June 7th. Police were called, here's a report, October 9th. They're back, domestic, in progress on balcony.
Correct.
Okay, October 11th. Again, unknown disturbance. Caller advised she heard a lot of banging. When she went up to knock on the door, person behind the door yelled, call cops. November 26th. Family dispute. 21-year-old daughter is manic. Lindsay, white female, ran outside, was physical 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
Okay, can I clarify something?
Doesn't matter. Okay, yes. That's how you want to spend your time, yes.
I didn't even know the police came those 2 times because I was asleep, correct?
Not correct. The first time that it says just a party, yes, you were asleep. The second time, no, that was when you came home drunk and you were stomping on the ground to piss the neighbor off.
I did stomp on the ground, yes.
Are you trying to derail solving this problem?
No, but it's just being twisted, I feel like. But go ahead. All right.
Okay, well, let's untwist it. Did you endorse and participate in your daughter drinking at age 15?
Yes, I knew you'd beat me up about that.
Okay, well, I just want to untwist this. Am I twisting that?
Huh?
Am I twisting that?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
And yes, I made a bad decision.
You're 21 now.
Yeah.
So you can legally drink.
Yeah.
And you both drink now, right? And when you drink now, that's when things really melt down, right?
Yeah.
You're saying no, or you don't know why you ever agreed to come here, or... And she's saying yes. Look at it from my point of view. You're going, and she's going, yeah. Do you get along well when you drink? Both of you are drinking at the same time?
Oh, definitely not.
Yep.
So that's something we can agree on.
Yes, correct.
Right? All right, coming up, we have Lindsay's diary, which may have more clues as to why she's struggling to have a non-violent relationship with her mother. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about what role I think alcohol plays in this. And if I have to hang from the lights, I'm going to start talking about some solutions that I think need to happen here. We'll be right back. Do you have a problem with drinking?
No.
You just have a problem with volatility.
The problem here is it's my mom's drinking problem, not mine.
Wonder what would happen if you fixed these problems. And later, please welcome the star of Hollywood Medium, Tyler Henry. We have a guest who would like a reading from you backstage.
This February.
The woman accused of pushing her husband to his death.
I'm a horrible person who could do that.
The stakes are higher.
Your daughter is saying there was a struggle. He stumbled and fell backwards. Did you push him out that window?
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
Emotions run deeper.
You're very critical of the woman that has adopted your baby.
She looks like a stripper.
Olivia's been stalking me.
Bring the restraining order. I'll show you where you blatantly lied in it. Bring it.
You're in her face saying, you lie, you lie, you lie.
She's a saint. We're the bad people. Is that what you're telling me?
Tempers get hotter.
Our neighbors make our life a living hell.
They set a mortar shell under the swing set and tried to blow it up.
That is not true. We are being harassed.
Put her on the lie detector test.
And I want you to do one too because the machine is going to blow up.
And we're just getting started.
I had a traumatized 3-year-old girl saying, my daddy hurt me.
Where is he going to hurt you at?
A child does not say those things unless she was coached.
You cannot coach a 3-year-old. Ask anyone.
That is coaching.
I came here to help my daughter, and you turned this into a giant circus.
I'm done.
There are a lot of times when my daughter and I get along.
The problem is that once we've had some alcohol, we start to fight. When there's alcohol involved, my mom and I are toxic, dangerous.
I've struggled with alcohol in the past, and I've even been to rehab for it.
She's been to rehab, but at times she still drinks.
I'm not sure still if I have a problem or not. When Lindsay drinks, 9 times out of 10, Lindsay gets violent when there's alcohol involved.
I can control my drinking, but when it comes to my mom, she certainly cannot stop. The problem here is it's my mom's drinking problem, not mine.
Wonder what would happen if you fixed these problems. Instead of running headlong into one bad decision after another, what if you said, look, I got some crises to manage here, but in doing that, I really do want to get this fixed. How would that be?
Great.
Because if this continues the way it is, you're really, really vulnerable to being in a bad situation. Both of you. You're vulnerable to being in a bad situation. And that doesn't have to be the case. If Do you have a problem with drinking?
I don't know.
Do you have a problem with drinking?
No.
You just have a problem with volatility.
Yeah. We're both very stubborn and we're both very alike, that we just butt heads, and with my anger and her anger and then the alcohol mixed, it's like gasoline and fire. It just goes up.
Yeah. So what do you want to see happen?
I want to see us get help so that we can have a mother-daughter relationship.
Mm-hmm. Then what questions do you have for me?
Can she get off the medicine?
Mm-hmm.
It's made me very fat.
In 6 months,
I gained like
a lot of weight.
60 pounds in like 4 months.
All right. Do you have a question?
How can we communicate better without, how can we talk without blowing up on each other? How can we help each other out instead of just working against each other? Like, how can we work together? Overall, how can I fix my anger? How can I calm down?
You know, the question I was hoping for from you was, what can I do? What can I do as a person? What can I do to make this situation better?
Absolutely.
I don't just, you know, her, whatever, but you talk to me as a parent. Don't even talk to me as Dr. Phil. Just talk to me as a parent. Mm-hmm. What can I do to change the dynamic in my family and make this situation better? Because the only person you control is you. The only person that you can make a change in is you. You can inspire change in her. You can induce change in her, but you can't make her change. The only person you control is you. So I've been looking through everything you've written, everything we've recorded, everything you've said to me. I've been waiting to hear you say, Dr. Phil, tell me what I can do to improve this situation, because the only person I control is me, so tell me what I can do. That's what I've been wanting to hear from you. And what I've been wanting to hear from you is, what can I do to control this anger?
Oh, well, that too.
I told Lindsay I would tell her what she's angry about right after the break. You don't want to go through life feeling like you're a victim. At some point, you got to decide to either be mad and upset about what you don't have, or grateful for what you do have.
Lindsay and I have been together for about 3 years. Lindsay certainly has a lot of anger issues. Lindsay and her mom are constantly fighting. I do feel like I'm in the middle of all these fights. I feel like I'm hopeless. Lindsay and I also had some fights. Just pushed me in a corner and shoved me.
Ryan and I, we get along very well. But when Ryan and I fight, we definitely fight.
Ryan has put his hands around her neck.
I really fear that one day Ryan will leave me because of how angry I get.
I'm afraid this could ruin our relationship. If Lindsay doesn't get help, she can lose me.
That was Lindsay's boyfriend, Ryan, who claims Lindsay and her mother, Elizabeth, have both contributed to the verbal and physical violence in their relationship. Ryan, I appreciate you being here. And you've kind of gotten caught in the crossfire of all this, right?
Yes, Dr. Phil.
What role does alcohol play in their fights?
Well, I just feel like it's very toxic. They yell at each other, they scream names. As in, cursing-wise, there's just meaningful words that it just hurts me inside to hear from a mother and a daughter. That's just not healthy for, you know, relationship-wise.
All right, now I said I was going to tell you what you were angry about. You said that you were angry for a number of reasons. I mean, you had a pretty long list. You said that you were angry because your grandfather passed away, right?
Yes.
And that was a painful time for you.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for your loss, by the way.
That was a long time ago, but yeah.
I understand. You said you were angry because you had a best friend that was hit by a car and passed away.
Yeah.
You said you were angry because you have no father in your life. You said that you were angry because you were overweight. You said that you were angry because you had been molested at an earlier time in your life. The common denominator in these things is you can't control any of it. You feel powerless. You're just angry about one thing. And so you decide, okay, I'm gonna be angry. I'm gonna go through life like this. At some point, you got to decide either be mad and upset about what you don't have or grateful for what you do have. That woman is not perfect.
Neither am I.
Nice symmetry to that. She's not a perfect mother. You're not a perfect daughter. Nice balance to that. But you know what? She loves you a lot.
I know that.
She's here.
I know. She tries her best.
She's here. And she's leaning into this. I think you've got more issue here with alcohol than y'all think you do, and you're acknowledging. You are drinking more than you need to be drinking. You want to get off this medication? Look, we're going to deal with all of that, right? You want to get your weight down?
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
I've got the #1 weight book in America, okay?
Right.
I'm that guy. We will help you with that. We truly will. This is T.J. Howard. He's the Corporate Director of Operations for Origins Behavioral Health Care. They're the nation's leading dual diagnosis treatment center. I think these guys do such a great job. And I asked him to come here today, and when we finish here, we're going to sit down backstage and talk about all of the options, all of the things that are available for us to do to get everybody healthy, everybody happy, get everything where we need to be. And you've been listening the whole time. You can dial into this and help us, right?
Absolutely.
You need some professional help here to get this family dynamic right in an ongoing basis. Let me provide that for you. And then we will track this, see where we're going, and get this in the right place that it needs to be.
You'll give me alcohol treatment?
Do you need it?
Sure.
Yeah. That is done and done. Okay? I'm going to ask Elizabeth and Lindsay to step off stage for a bit so I can talk to someone Lindsay says she really wants to meet, who she hopes can help her heal in a unique way. He's a young kid with a very interesting backstory. You'll meet him after the break. We'll be right back.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil. A guest hits a bar before the show.
You get a double shot at tequila and you got no money. We paid the bill, but I didn't waive my right to have you prosecuted.
That's Monday.
Okay, I'm just curious about y'all in the audience. Does anybody here believe in psychic mediums and their ability to contact people who have died and crossed over? Raise your hand if you do. Well, I've had mediums on the show in the past because viewers have asked and are interested, even though I personally am what I call a healthy skeptic. My next guest is unique because he is what is described as a teenaged clairvoyant medium. Take a look.
My name is Tyler Henry, and I'm Hollywood's go-to medium. I've been a medium since I was 10 years old. As a kid, it was really frightening, but as I started fully embracing my ability as a medium, I started reading friends, family, and complete strangers, and now my ability has gotten me to Hollywood, where I read celebrity clients. My readings are really about connecting people, whether it's to their deceased loved ones. There is a reference to the March of Dimes. Stop. Or connecting them to insight into their personal lives. There's a reference to Lola.
Oh my God.
I am a skeptic. You know, I'm in show business.
There's a woman coming through who's doing this to me.
I haven't talked about that before to anybody.
Who is with you every step of the way.
That's nice.
Oh, and I'm only 19. I'm not a traditional psychic. I'm young, and in some ways I'm naive. But people feel they can trust me, and they can. It can be nerve-wracking if I don't know who they are.
Tyler.
Hello, how are you?
I'm George.
Oh, great to meet you.
Do you know who I am?
No, not really.
It's okay.
No. Sorry.
I just saw Britney Spears, so that's usually a reference to Britney, the name Britney.
Brittany Murphy.
Who would that be?
She's an actress that passed away. Oh, my God.
No matter what, I know it's going to be an adventure, and I'm just excited to see where this journey takes me.
Well, please welcome the star of Hollywood Medium, which debuts this Sunday at 10 p.m. on E! Network, Tyler Henry. It's good to see you. Good to meet you.
Great to be here.
So,
Thank you.
how do you discover that you have this gift, this ability, this thing you do?
Really, everything started when I was 10 years old, and my grandmother was ill with cancer. I woke up and just knew that my grandmother was going to pass away. I couldn't explain it. I just had this knowingness that she was going to die. And when I got out of bed, I walked up to my mom and said, we have to say goodbye. And moments later, we got the call that my grandmother passed. And that was really the first instance.
What do you enjoy most about doing this?
There's so many things I love about my work. Like, for me, just seeing the face of a client after I know that I've made a connection. For me, this is so much more than just my job. This truly is my life at every capacity. So knowing that I get to sit with a person and help them connect and get that closure is why I do what I do.
Yeah. So why decide to read celebrities?
I started doing readings professionally in my small town when I was 16, and word of mouth just spread. And then clients just started coming in, and they happened to be celebrities.
When you're reading somebody, if you get some sense of, like, really impending bad news, doom,
right?
Do you tell them that?
Well, for me, I believe that the future is not always set in stone. And so if I do get information beforehand intuitively about maybe what someone has to keep in mind medically, I'll let them know, you know, hey, this is a medical susceptibility, get this checked up on. And oftentimes they can avoid that from happening. But I only really deliver information in a positive sense so that it can be avoided.
How have the stars reacted to the readings?
The stars have been amazing, and we've had such an eclectic mix. We have actors, singers, people in sports, which is definitely not my area of expertise by any means. So it's been really interesting, but it's been beautiful to see that regardless of where these celebrities come from, they're all looking for the same things. They're all looking for the closure, the insight, the comfort that really comes from these sessions.
Yeah. Here's an exclusive clip from an upcoming episode of Hollywood Medium where Tyler does a reading with a popular reality star, Snooki.
This is a quick one, and I feel some uncomfortability or some pain in the head thing, really. It's like this.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't look unhealthy. That's the thing. When I'm looking at him, I'm not.
Well, that's what happened. My uncle, he was in the garage working on his car, and all of a sudden, he was dead on the floor.
Yeah.
But he had a brain aneurysm.
Wow.
Oh, my God. Okay. My uncle was one of my best friends. He was my best uncle ever, because he was just an uncle that I could talk to. You know, like a cool uncle.
Okay, so with his passing, he's there. As he's coming through, who's Elaine?
I can't. Oh, my God.
Okay, who would this be? Tell me. Tell me.
That's his fiance.
Well, we have a guest who would like a reading from you backstage, and you've not heard or seen any of the earlier guests who have been on the show, right?
Correct.
Tyler has agreed to sit down with one of the guests backstage, and you'll be able to see the reading when we come back.
Do you have anyone close to you that would have been considered to pass too soon? There is a reference to an engine revving, so I don't know if somebody drove really fast. Does that have any pertinence to what you're talking about?
Very much so.
There's a reference to the balloons that were released, and there's a reference to an awareness of this. Someone had a purple balloon, funny enough, but there's a reference.
We have a lot of fun here in the studio audience.
If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click Be in the Audience, or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445.
Walking up to a client's door and going to knock is one of the most nerve-wracking things because I never have any idea who's going to open the door.
Hi.
Oh, great to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Oh my gosh.
Come on in.
Margaret Cho answers the door, and I was completely floored. I'm a huge Margaret Cho fan, and so to see her standing there in front of me was incredibly insane for me. It was so surreal.
How are you?
Tyler, good to meet you.
You're so itty bitty.
I know, I feel 12, but...
How old are you?
19.
Oh, he's so much smaller than I thought. I didn't know they made humans that size anymore. Do you want like a juice box?
I get tons of jokes about my age from the people that I read, and I get it. I'm not what you expect, but for me, age is but a number.
Those are some priceless reactions from celebrities after meeting teenage clairvoyant medium Tyler Henry, who is the star of Hollywood Medium, which debuts this Sunday at 10 p.m. on E! Network. Now, remember our guest, Lindsay, from earlier in the show. She admits her life took a turn for the worse after the death of someone very close to her. And since she's really open to mediums and psychics, I asked Tyler Henry to meet with her backstage. Here's what happened.
Hello, how are you?
I'm
Tyler.
good.
Great
I'm
to meet
Lindsay.
you. Great to meet you, Lindsay.
Nice
Thank you
to
for
meet you.
having me here. This is interesting.
Thanks for doing this.
I don't want to know anything about you, so
Okay.
I'll explain kind of how I do what I do and let you know how my process works.
Okay.
I have the gift of seeing things. I get images, impressions that I basically have to take and deliver as accurately as I can without knowing anything about you.
Right, okay.
So this notepad and pen is just like scribbling.
Okay.
And it really is not that big of a deal. I am getting a couple different impressions, and I'm probably going to take a minute to basically just scribble, see what we get, and go from there.
Not a problem.
I see that you have some objects.
I do.
Do you mind if I hold on to this?
Yeah, of course.
Perfect. I am getting a couple different impressions. Do you have anyone in family or close to you that would have been considered to pass too soon? By that I mean, like, not 70, 80. I have a younger energy that's coming through really strongly.
Yes.
The feeling here is this. I'm getting fingers snapped at me, which always indicates that this was a quick passing, or that this was abrupt. Does that make sense?
Very.
Okay. There's such an excitement when I'm connecting with this person. It's like, I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah.
When people pass away in a way that there's like, say, a suicide, usually they come through and acknowledge more of a, like they're regretting that decision. They acknowledge that that isn't really the feeling that I'm getting with this. This is like, I'm full of life. At the time that I died, I was full of life. I didn't want to die. This just happened to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, very much so.
Okay, there's a reference to mom. I do have to say hello to mom, or wherever that connection would be. So is this person's mother still living?
Yeah, it would probably be towards my mom.
Right, okay. Now, we're going to talk about the passing, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. There's a frustration, because I'm referencing the pacing, which is always my indication of I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated, I'm frustrated. I should not have been in this situation. This was stupid. There is a reference to an engine revving, so I don't know if somebody, like, drove really fast, or what this connection is. Does that have any pertinence to what you're talking about?
Very much so.
This shouldn't have happened where it happened.
No, shouldn't have.
This was familiar to me. The location where this happened, this person had been before.
Yes.
Like,
plenty of time.
very, very familiar. Familiar enough for this to not, that this should not have happened.
Agreed.
The amount of love that comes through is so incredibly immense. So I'm referencing to you, and I'm referencing to a female contemporary. So that would usually be like sister, or like a sisterly kind of a figure. There is a reference to a ceremony that was done after. There's a reference to the balloons that were released. And there's a reference to an awareness of this, okay?
Yes.
Someone had a purple balloon, funny enough, but there's a reference, because I'm seeing the purple balloon.
Oh, my God.
So please know that. Does that...
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. That's the same person that
Right.
That's insane.
So please know that with those details, for me, I believe that anybody can tell you that your loved one's fine.
Yeah.
But for me, when I do a reading, it's those details that come through that really validate that I really am making that connection.
Yeah.
So please know that, and please know that this person's completely fine. Okay? There is an excitement about the tree that's being planted, or like putting a memorial by a tree. I'm seeing a tree very
feel
clearly.
like, oh, yes,
Yeah.
her father,
Right.
yes,
Yes, for sure.
Her father is going to do that.
Yeah.
Is there an older gentleman that comes through?
So there is an older gentleman. The older gentleman died of a lung-related thing, like fluid in the lungs, and that would be separate. That'd be on mom's side.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that would be the gist. Wow. It's a lot to think about.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. Oh, gosh. It's insane.
I hope that helps provide.
No, it definitely did. It definitely. I'm glad that she's still happy and.
Thank you for letting me connect.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's amazing.
When we come back, reactions to Tyler's reading. Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. I want to thank all of my guests today, including T.J. Howard, Corporate Director of Operations from Origins Behavioral Healthcare. And really, thank you so much. You guys do a great job, and I hope you can really help this mother-daughter, because I think it's really having a big impact on their relationship. I also want to thank clairvoyant medium Tyler Henry, and also don't forget to watch Hollywood Medium, which airs Sundays at 10 on E. Its premiere episode will be airing this coming Sunday, January 24th. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Good to see you, man. Talk to you soon.
Who Tyler was connecting with was my best friend, Kara. She was 17 and she died very suddenly in an auto accident. And he just really hit home with how I was across like states away from her, and how she died on her anniversary. So he said something about a holiday, so that was perfect.
Tyler was able to point out, he said he heard an engine, and in actuality, it was Kara getting hit by a car. Tyler brought up some situations or detail about my father, I believe. He was talking about, he was saying something up here, even though my dad had colon cancer, he ended up drowning in his own fluids.
Tyler, thank you so much for helping me and us and putting my mind at rest, and maybe I'll actually be able to sleep at night knowing that she's okay. So thank you.
Thank you, Tyler.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. After meeting only once, they tied the knot.
We have two strangers that are married.
No wonder this blended family.
Your children met for the first time at the wedding.
Is so mixed up.
She says you hated her kids.
I did hate them, yeah. I'm not going to lie.
How do you hate children?
If you're not going to punish your kids, why should I punish mine?
I do punish my
kids.
kids.
No, you don't.
This family isn't blended. We've got two warring camps under one roof. Let's do it. Is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Here's a question. What do the hit TV shows Modern Family, Full House, and The Brady Bunch have in common with my guest today? Well, they're all blended families. But sadly, unlike those families that everybody loves to watch on the small screen, Jason and Shady's blended brood is on the brink of falling apart. But before we talk about all that, I want to take you back to the beginning, when 5 years ago, Shady met Jason on a dating site. Now, after knowing each other only 2 months and meeting in person only once, these two lovebirds thought it would be a really great idea to get married. Sadly, these two didn't race into this sacred union alone. Jason has 4 kids from a previous marriage. Shady has 3. And get this, these 7 met the first time at the church. Yeah, they met on their wedding day. Now, of course, with 7 children under one roof, there's bound to be some chaos.
Well, you don't normally punish your kids either, honey.
It's not true.
My marriage is currently on the verge of falling apart.
This is not the life I pictured when I married Shady 5 years ago.
It has been a roller coaster the whole time. Jason is controlling, sneaky, manipulative. He was not the gentleman that I thought that he was. I met Jason on a dating website. When I first saw Jason's profile, I was not attracted to him. He is not my type. He is short, bald.
I thought Shady was very beautiful. I did think she was out of my league.
I fell in love head over heels quickly. After a month of communicating long distance, we decided to meet in person. Jason and I were married just 2 months after we met online. Jason was in the military. I moved all 3 of my children, Avery, Allie, and Wyatt, to where Jason was stationed at the time.
I have 4 kids from my previous marriage: Shay, Hunter, Chloe, and Brinley. I didn't talk to my kids about marrying Shady. My kids met Shady for the first time on our wedding day. I really didn't think about the consequences of marrying a woman with children.
I began to feel a little uncertain about our marriage. Jason is like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He's a very nice gentleman in front of other people. At home, he wants to be in the middle of everything. He yells and screams and cusses.
My marriage started to take a turn when I noticed how Shady disciplined her children.
Jason was like a drill sergeant. Everything had to be done his way.
Okay, Jason, chill out.
They were disrespectful. They talked back. They didn't listen to their mom.
Jason likes to degrade me in front of our children. We very seldom talk, but when we do, it seems like it always ends in an argument.
But you throw in the mix of children and life stresses, takes the fun out of a relationship. Shady and I tolerate each other right now.
I can't continue to live like this. I'm miserable.
Well, creating a family with members from previous relationships, I mean, come on, this can be stressful, and the outcome is rarely what you anticipate. Jason and Shady learned about this the hard way.
You interrupt me, you get loud, you want to make a scene in front of everybody in the house.
Jason is tearing apart our blended family. We have very different parenting styles.
What did I tell him? I'm not understanding what you're trying to say.
Shady and I never discussed how we were going to parent our children. We never discussed rules for the house.
I'm going to be reprimanded. It doesn't matter. They're just...
Anytime that I bring up issues with the kids, she'll say that you take care of your kids and I'll take care of my kids. You're not going to punish your kids. Why should I punish mine?
I do punish my kids.
No, you don't. Shady believes that I am too mean, and I believe that Shady is too inconsistent and not fair. Shady is never wrong. Shady is always right. Shady knows all.
Jason is always looking for reasons to punish my children, Allie, Avery, and Wyatt. One time, Jason found bubble gum in the bathroom sink, and everyone in our house was grounded for about a week. Jason went on a rampage over the bubble gum. He was storming around the house, screaming and yelling. The smallest thing set him off.
I don't get angry for no reason. I notice things. That's who Jason is. I notice everything. I'm attention to detail oriented. I'm the head of the household. I think my word should be the final word.
But he does not allow me to say anything to his kids. Whenever I try to reprimand Jason's kids, he tells me to leave them alone and to mind my own damn business. Jason and I got full custody of his 4 children last year. When my stepchildren moved in with us, Jason's kids treated me like I'm an evil witch. Often I'm ignored. Even when spoken to or asking a question of one of them, the children will not respond.
I was not ready for a blended family at all when I married Shady. Having a blended family is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life.
Oh, okay. So you met online?
Yes.
A dating site?
Yes, we did.
Which I think is a great, fine way to meet. Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But you were in different cities.
States.
Yeah, different states.
Yes, we were.
1,000 miles apart.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And so you chat each other up for a month or so.
Right.
Did you talk on the phone some?
We did.
Oh, well.
Skype.
Yeah, Skype.
Yeah.
And you met once.
Correct.
And decided, we need to get married.
Yes.
So the second time you saw each other in person was at the wedding.
That's right.
Your children met for the first time on your wedding day. Then you move a mother-in-law in. 10 of you under one roof. What could possibly go wrong here?
Lots of things.
You didn't much cotton to her kids in the beginning, right?
It's a, well, you meet them for the first time that first day, and they were just, seemed like normal kids.
She says you hated her kids.
Well, that came in Kentucky. That's when she moved to Kentucky. and then we started living as a family.
You didn't actually start hating them till Kentucky.
Correct.
You cannot make this up. How do you hate children?
Wow, that's a good question.
Thank you.
I don't know if it was so much that I did hate them. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I did not want to be around them because they were smart asses. They didn't listen to their mother. I went from work, and I would come home dreading going into that house.
What did you say to yourself that allowed you to spend one night under the same roof with someone that declared he hated your children?
He didn't actually tell me he hated my children until we had been married about 3 years.
Okay, how did you spend 3 years and 1 day under the roof with someone that declared that he hated your children?
He wasn't still hating them at this point. He was proclaiming that in the past he had hated them, that he had dreaded. I did not know he was dreading coming home from work.
You gave me an entire list of how there is a double standard between the way he treated your children versus the way he treated his children.
Yes.
Your children have told me that he came in and invoked a double standard. His children have rooms. Your children were living in draped areas in the basement.
Correct. This only has been in the last year that this has happened.
I'm wondering how a mother allows a man that she just met through the click of a mouse sells her children down the river to somebody that you believe hates them, abuses them, neglects them, treats them with a double standard. I'm not saying that that's true, but that's your perception.
Right.
How is that okay with you?
It wasn't okay with me.
Apparently it was, because that was 3 years. We've now been through 3, 4, and 5, and here you still are.
The reason I stayed is because at the time I did not financially have the money to go anywhere else. I had nowhere else to go.
Well, coming up, Shady says that 4 years later, Jason is still obsessed with finding out who left a piece of cake in the basement. When we come back, we're going to finally get to the bottom of who's responsible for the great cake caper, and we're going to find out if, in fact, this is all one-sided. We'll be right back.
Jason works against everything that I do. It is always us against them. It is me against him. My kids on one team, his kids on another team.
Shady's kids think they're better than my kids. They don't dress like Shady's kids. Shady thinks that she is smarter than me and that she is better than me.
Feels like it's just a war going on.
And later,
I think I'm being misconstrued or portrayed here.
Do you always tell the truth?
Well, no.
Of course not.
I might lie, but I don't exaggerate.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. This mom found out her husband went to a strip club
21 years ago.
So why did she buy breast implants?
Do you wish now you didn't?
Oh, no. I'm so happy I did.
And a stripper pole.
She was pretending to be a stripper.
You come home and there's fake money all around the stripper pole.
My husband did that.
Did she tell you to give your boyfriend as much sex as he wants?
Yes.
Are you insane?
That's tomorrow.
Jason works against everything that I do. It is always us against them. It is me against him. My kids on one team, his kids on another team. Feels like it's just a war going on. Jason likes to turn every disagreement into a show in front of the whole family.
You want me to refill it?
No. I wouldn't.
This is too big.
Honey, we're going to eat this one.
I feel like everything is a competition with Jason. Jason always has to have the last word.
Shady thinks that she is smarter than me and that she is better than me. Shady's kids think they're better than my kids. My kids don't talk like other people. They don't dress like Shady's kids. Our kids are complete opposites.
My children are very social, very outgoing.
But that doesn't make Shady's kids better than my kids.
I feel like Jason and his kids often see us as the enemy. One time my stepson Hunter told me he and his siblings were the good kids and my children were the bad kids. Jason loves his kids more than he does me or my kids. He always takes their side. He has said, I will never be able to love you or my kids as much as my own blood.
I do love Shady's kids, but not as much as I love my own kids. Blood is thicker than water.
I've worked very hard to make our family one family unit, all the while having to fight Jason, who wants to keep everything separate.
Okay, what's got you ready to take issue with so many things?
Inconsistency. Being inconsistent, not following through. Those kinds of things just they drive me nuts. Like, for instance, she allowed Avery and Allie. Allie is Shady's youngest daughter, only daughter, who is 15, to stay over another girl's house with boys that were seniors. She got mad at my son, Shay, my oldest son, for buying a bag of Doritos and beef jerky.
So you think she has a double standard?
Yes, I do.
And you think he has a double standard?
Absolutely. And the Doritos and the beef jerky, we have rules. You and I made agreement that Shay would not buy
And we
junk
hadn't
food.
followed that for like 6 months.
But you've known that, and you've done nothing about
that.
it, which is the problem. You don't ever.
But you just went off. You didn't even let me do anything. You just went off. You went upstairs to his room, grabbed the Doritos,
You want
put
me
them
to
down the
punish
toilet.
your children.
You didn't even care if it was going to get
refuse
clogged.
To punish your own children. You want to put it on me.
I didn't put it on you. I said, let me handle it.
And what were you going to do about it?
I was
Nothing.
thinking.
Absolutely nothing.
Another thing about inconsistency, I don't think Allie's room has been cleaned one time by Allie.
She doesn't have a room.
That's a good point.
That is true.
Jason says Shady's 15-year-old daughter, Allie, is rude and a smartass who shows him no respect. Take a look.
2, 4, 6, 8. Who really appreciate
Me.
Hey, not Jason.
Allie is a smartass. She does think she knows everything. She's a spitting image of her mom.
Jason is the hardest on my daughter, Allie. I have never seen him treat his own children the way he treats Allie. One time, Jason called Allie a bitch, and Allie was only 12. Jason is constantly antagonizing Allie. He baits her. He sets her up for failure so that he can punish her.
You had to instigate and try to start a fight.
I didn't try to start a fight.
Yes, you did, honey.
Allie's name is Vivian Allison, and we've always called her Allie from birth. And he said, Vivian.
She said, why are you calling me Vivian? Like, yeah, attacking me. Questioning an adult. Don't call me Vivian, Mom.
She doesn't call me Vivian.
You were very rude.
I looked at you and said, why are you calling me that?
Yeah, why would you say that?
Because I don't want you to.
Then why don't you just say that?
She was like, can I call him Patrick? That's his middle name. And I said, yeah, you can. And she goes, Patrick, you know, just to be funny. And of course, that made him angry.
I couldn't understand why Shady would sit there and laugh with her daughter after she called me Patrick. And Allie's laughing right now. Yeah, and you're just right along with her, Shady.
All she said was your middle name.
No, it's wrong, honey, and you know it. Like I said, you're a better relationship with your daughter than you have with me.
Are you getting weary of all this fighting that's going on?
Yeah.
Were you surprised that they got married so quick?
Yeah, I was. I didn't really know him
Yeah.
at all.
So when y'all got married, you were living in Texas, right?
Yeah.
And then you packed up and moved to Kentucky?
Yeah.
Then you packed up and moved to Virginia?
Yeah, we did.
And now you have a space?
Yeah, I have 3.5 walls. Yeah.
3.5 walls? And your brother's on the other side of a curtain?
He is.
Yeah. How's that work?
Not great.
How do you get along with Jason?
Not great.
Yeah. How do you think he feels about you?
I don't think he likes me.
What do you think about that?
I do show Allie that I love her. Sometimes. I mean, sometimes we do get in arguments because we butt heads. Allie and I butt heads. We do.
Do you get stuck on things sometimes?
Yes.
Like this cake thing?
Yes.
There was cake left where?
It was downstairs in the basement in our house in Kentucky.
Yeah.
It was a plate, cake, and a fork.
You still seem a little upset about that.
I never found out who did it.
You still want accountability for that cake.
Well, it's not just the cake. There was also gum left in the sink. We haven't forgotten about that either.
Gum left in the sink.
Yes.
These two have 5 marriages between them. They split up for a time. They decided maybe they were done. We'll talk about that when we come back. Did it ever occur to you that, you know what, this might be a really good time for me to not be in a relationship?
This February,
The woman accused of pushing her husband to his death.
I'm a horrible person who could do that.
the stakes are higher.
Your daughter is saying there was a struggle. He stumbled and fell backwards. Did you push him out that window?
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
Emotions run deeper.
You're very critical of the woman that has adopted your baby.
She looks like a stripper.
Olivia's been stalking me.
Bring the restraining order. I'll show you where you blatantly lied in it. Bring it.
You're in her face saying, you lie, you lie, you lie.
She's a saint. We're the bad people. Is that what you're telling me?
Tempers get hotter.
Our neighbors make our life a living hell.
They set a mortar shell under the swing set and tried to blow it up.
That is not true. We are being harassed.
Put her on a lie detector test.
And I want you to do one too because the machine is going to blow up.
And we're just getting started.
I had a traumatized 3-year-old girl saying, my daddy hurt me. Where is he going to hurt you at?
A child does not say those things unless she was coached.
You cannot coach a 3-year-old. Ask anyone.
That is coaching.
I came here to help my daughter, and you turned this into a giant circus.
I'm done. I want to remind everyone, these two have only been married 5 years. They met online. A month later, they met in person. The second time they met, they got married. But that's not all. When times got tough, these two felt like, well, it's over with, so they kind of went outside the marriage.
During the lowest point of my marriage with Jason, I rekindled a romantic relationship with one of my exes.
When Shady told me that she had had sex with her ex, I was numb.
I went to Texas for the holidays. I started making arrangements that I was going to stay there, but then I had to go back and get my things. And when I was back home, we worked things out. I don't trust Jason. I know that Jason has also talked to other women online. One time a random number popped up on my husband's phone, and it was a random woman that he had had a relationship with from the internet. I suspect that Jason is still having online relationships because he never sleeps. He stays up all night long on the computer.
I did talk to other females online during the first part of our marriage. It was an addiction. I loved the chase.
Is there anything else y'all could do to sabotage this thing? So both of you during a break kind of reached out to other people.
Yes.
I wouldn't call it a break. It was Thanksgiving. She went to Texas. I went to Kansas.
Did you each think that this was unraveling?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you thought you would visit your ex?
I did. Yes, I did.
And this was a good idea. Why?
This was not a good idea. This was a bad idea.
But it seemed like a good idea at the time. Why?
I think that I was just reaching out to what was familiar to me, thinking I made a mistake, I picked the wrong man.
Did it ever occur to you that, you know what, this might be a really good time for me to not be in a relationship? Maybe this would be a good time for me to focus on me and my children.
That's probably where I should have been thinking. That's not what I was thinking at the time, but yes, I see your point.
But then you decided, well, no, I'm going to go back.
Planned to go back, ordered a truck. We were going to load the house. Actually, we did. Boxed everything up, loaded the whole entire truck, got ready to move. And Jason and I sat down that last night, had conversation.
Well, that's a novel concept. So you actually sat down and talked through some things.
We actually did, yes.
Oh, but I unloaded the truck. Then she told me she slept with her ex.
So did you load the truck back up?
I was, like I said, I was numb. I didn't want to do it again. I didn't want to leave. So I was going to fight. I was going to deal with it.
So what do you want to do now?
I want to get counseling. I want to become a family.
What do you think that's going to take?
Counseling.
Well, but I mean, what do you think?
Compromise. Shady and I getting together, actually making set rules. You know, everything, you know.
Well, you're kind of big on rules.
I am.
In fact, he had you sign a contract.
Yes, he did.
It was a marriage contract.
Well, no, this was boundaries for dealing with conflict. You said, we'll never mention divorce. We'll not bring up old unrelated items. We'll never fight in public or in front of our children. We'll call a timeout if it escalates to a damaging level. We'll never touch each other in a harmful way. We'll never go to bed angry with one another, but that got crossed out somehow. Failure is not an option. Whatever it takes, we'll work it out. And you both signed it. So this was your contract. Does he live up to number one?
No.
He doesn't live up to number one?
No, he does not.
Okay, so he doesn't live up to that one. Does he live up to number two?
Not at all. No.
He doesn't live up to number two? Does he live up to number three?
Number 3 is his favorite. He loves to fight in public.
Okay, so he gets a double.
Yeah.
We'll call timeout if it escalates to a damaging level?
I've yet to ever seen him call a timeout.
Okay, so he doesn't do that. We'll never touch each other in a harmful way?
He has never physically hurt me, so he does live up to number 5.
Okay, so he does live up to number 5. Okay. Failure is not an option. Whatever it takes, we will work this out. I mean, you are here.
He's still trying. Yep.
Okay. You are here. Okay. So, and what happened to number 6?
That was my suggestion because that's been impossible. We do go to bed angry at times. We get up the next morning and continue on, but sometimes we can't resolve it before bed, so we just took that one out.
Okay, so you just killed that because you fight so much, you got to get some sleep.
Exactly. Exactly.
I like a schedule, love schedules. We're going over the chore list so you guys know what chores you guys have today. I'd love to have things where they're supposed to be.
Closed captioning provided by...
Talking taxes with Jackson Hewitt.
Got 2 jobs, 3 kids, and need money now. Or I'll need a job for every kid.
File with us for your biggest refund and a $50 Walmart e-gift card instantly.
Our 100% accuracy and maximum refund are guaranteed. Jackson Hewitt, where taxes are less taxing.
To truly feel healthy on the outside, you have to feel healthy at your core. True Biotics, a probiotic from One A Day, naturally helps support both your digestive and immune health by combining 2 types of good bacteria. True Biotics. Be true to your health.
We're going over the chore list so you guys know what chores you guys have today. Make sure your rooms are clean, too.
So then I have the bathroom and the stuff?
Yes, you do. Were you vacuuming the stairs?
Yeah.
I like a schedule, love schedules. I love to have things where they're supposed to be. I love fun, but without the structure, there's no fun.
Okay, you had rules for the kids.
We both did. It was family rules. She created those.
But you created the chart.
No, she created that.
I made the chart.
You created the chart?
I did.
Okay, listen. I've been to several county fairs and a couple of goat ropings, and I couldn't figure this damn thing out. Honest to God, what? Could y'all figure this out? Y'all couldn't follow, because listen, seriously, I got this at home the other night. I sat down, Robin and I looked at it, and we couldn't figure out what the hell we were supposed to do. Y'all couldn't figure this out?
No, they just tell us.
We had a vision of y'all standing there at the refrigerator. Seriously?
I did the best I could.
Really? What do you do for a job?
I manage a salon. He should have made the contract.
And, yeah, well...
Every name has a color code, though.
That's ridiculous. But if they fail, there are consequences.
Yes, there is.
This took 2 pages. Okay, so if you don't do these things that you couldn't figure out you were supposed to do, then you get confined to your bedroom and/or space. You lose your electronic privileges. You have to write reports. You have to do all of these sort of things. So with 10 people, you got to have some organization. You got to have some rules. I understand. Have you ever heard the old saying that a fish stinks from the head?
No, never heard that.
What it means is it all starts with the leadership. Chaos begins from the top down. Disorganization begins from the top down. Disrespect begins from the top down. Everything starts from the top down. And if you look at a situation and it's chaotic, don't you have to look at the leadership?
Yeah.
You're a military guy, right? Don't you have to look at the leadership?
Yes.
So, isn't this a top-down problem?
Yes.
I think so.
With 7 children under one roof, why not add a mother-in-law? Well, that's what Shady and Jason did. We're going to meet Shady's mom, Shirley, when we come back.
I'm in the middle of all of this. My relationship with Jason is very tense. Everybody in the house walks on eggshells. I'm afraid of saying anything because I'm afraid Jason might kick me out again.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. Why did this meek mom buy breast implants and a stripper pole?
She was pretending to be a stripper.
You come home and there's fake money all around the stripper pole.
My husband did that.
That's tomorrow.
Closed captioning provided by...
If you have high blood pressure like I do, many cold medicines may raise your blood pressure. Coricidin HBP relieves cold symptoms without raising blood pressure. Coricidin HBP.
My mother, Shirley, moved in with us to help take care of the kids. My mom would step in when Jason was too rough on my kids and when he was being mentally abusive.
Shirley is an alpha, like a man. She wants to be in charge.
Jason is paranoid that my mom and I are talking behind his back.
Shirley talks behind my back. She jumps in on every issue. It's a Shirley, Shady, and Jason issue, and it's a 3-ring circus.
Well, Shady and Jason agree it's been a bumpy ride. They both say, we want this to work. Now, Shady and Jason aren't the only adults in this dysfunctional drama. Shady's mom, Shirley, has lived with him on and off during their marriage. Let's hear what she has to say.
My relationship with Jason is very tense. Everybody in the house walks on eggshells. It gets real chaotic at times because everybody is at each other's throats. Jason is very degrading to Shady. He tells her how worthless she is. He has called her a bitch. He does this in front of the children. When they have an argument, he gets louder and louder and louder. It's very obvious he wants his children to understand that she's the bad guy and he's the good guy. I'm not at all surprised that their marriage is in trouble because they didn't know anything about each other. I'm afraid of saying anything because I'm afraid Jason might kick me out again. I'm 69 years old. Right now, I have no place else to go.
Well, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
It's interesting. We talked to you and we did an interview with you, and then after that, you wrote us a letter.
Yes.
Why'd you write us a letter after we interviewed you?
Because I felt like I was so angry when I was interviewed about some of the things that I had seen, and I wanted it to be more fair so that I could explain better what I saw from both sides of this picture.
Because you wrote us a letter that was 8 pages long.
I don't think it was quite that long, but...
Yeah, no, it was 8 pages long.
There it is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
Okay. And I popped a few things out that I thought were significant that I think you think are significant. These are just excerpts. As you said, after 4.5 years of watching Shady and Jason interact, I'm angry. Angry that anyone could treat others the way he does. Shady told me I didn't have to do anything I didn't want to do, and it hasn't been quite like I pictured it. I took on cleaning, cooking all meals, taking care of the kids. She refuses to do anything except eat and lay on the couch. She goes to the store, gone all day. When I first moved in, she was a complete basket case. So you're saying he's kind of bulling around there and yelling and all of that kind of stuff, but this kind of a bait and switch from her too. What do you think needs to happen in this house?
There have been times when I thought there needed to be a divorce and everybody needed to split and completely give it up. But they both want to be married and they both want to stay together. And so I would like to see both of them get some help
What do you want to see happen?
The same thing. I want unity in our home. I want my husband to allow me to be a parent. I want him to stop trying to take my authority away. I want him to stop arguing and fighting in front of our children. I just would like us to become one unit. I want him to allow us to be a family.
And what do you want to see happen?
Consistency. I want us to be a family also, but I want things consistent.
Do you get upset playing board games?
I'm competitive, Dr. Phil.
When you're getting upset and pitching a fit over a board game, then you got a bug up your ass. And it has nothing to do with the board game. You brought that with you.
I think I'm being misconstrued or portrayed here because games are fun. Board games are fun. Am I competitive at board games? Yes. I want to win. But
to the point of screaming and cussing and hitting the table.
Yes, so did
yeah, your children did the
people.
Same. I know.
Yes, it's our family. It's the way we're competitive on board games.
They've learned from the best.
It's board games. We're having fun.
Did y'all have one of these let's not go to bed angry nights and you decided to sleep on the couch?
Yes, we have recently.
Slept on the couch. I've slept on the couch before.
And you wouldn't give her a pillow or covers?
He came in there, grabbed the pillow, the blanket, took them in our bedroom, and locked the door.
Don't remember that,
Left me on
Dr.
the couch.
Phil, but if she says I did it, I might have done that. But she exaggerates a lot.
Do you always tell the truth?
Well, no.
Of course not.
Who does? But I don't exaggerate.
You don't exaggerate?
No, I might lie, but I don't exaggerate.
Can I make this situation better? Well, hell, you can't fall off the floor. So, can I make this better? Yeah, I do think this can get better. Seriously, because they have done, well, nothing right. So, if they start to do some things right, then it has to get better. So what do they need to do right? I'm going to tell you when we come back, and you are going to be really surprised at where we're going to start. In fact, you're going to be shocked. We'll be right back.
Life at home is very chaotic. Most of the time, it's really stressful.
Sometimes I get upset when he yells.
I don't see Jason as a father figure at all. I kind of see him just like mom's husband.
We can't do this show without you, our studio audience.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445.
I don't see Jason as a father figure at all. I kind of see him just like mom's husband.
I just see him as there to like be with my mom.
Life at home is very chaotic. Most of the time it's really stressful.
Jason was screaming at my mom. And he would tell her like, shut up.
I was surprised that my mom married Jason because he blamed everything on us and like we didn't really like that.
I was shocked because he never talked to us about her before.
I thought Shady was nice when I first met her. I see my dad and Shady arguing. Sometimes I get upset when he yells.
It feels uncomfortable when they argue. Jason treats us differently than he treats his own kids.
We found out they were actually like moving in to stay. It was like automatically Jason was like, my kids are not moving into open spaces with no doors. Me and Wyatt had to move out of our bedrooms into the basement. My bedroom's right here, and then not even a whole foot is my curtain. If I want privacy, then I have to like close them completely, which is really difficult to get them like to completely close. It's so annoying when Jason argues with me over petty things. The day they got married, we were gonna go out to eat afterwards. They even got an argument that day. My mom wanted to go eat Mexican food, and he was like, no, me and my kids don't like Mexican food. He got like really upset about it for no reason. I think I'd be relieved if Mom and Jason split up.
Okay, guys, if this situation could work, would you prefer that it work, or would you prefer that it not?
If she would like it to work and that's like what she wants, then I want the best for her. So if she wants it to work, then they should make it work.
Okay, and Allie, what's your thought?
I mean, like Avery said, if Mom wants it to work, then I would like it to work out. But at this point, I don't think it's going to.
Okay, do you guys have an opinion?
I would like it to work.
Yeah, and you're?
I'm Shay.
Uh-huh. Do you have an opinion?
I wanted to work, so same thing that you said, pretty much.
You got to be really willing to do something different. And what you need to do to begin with is some premarital counseling. Children of divorce and children in blended families have the needs of acceptance. They need to know that they have acceptance from both of the parents. They have to have assurance of safety, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. They got to have freedom for guilt or blame. They got to know this isn't my fault. They're hearing you fighting or money problems, but they got to know it's not their fault. They got to have some structure. They got to have a stable parent that has the strength to conduct the business of the family, and they have to be allowed to be children. Kids are going to be kids. They're not soldiers.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Very true. Yeah.
I don't ask myself why this is failing. I ask myself, why not? How could there be any other possible outcome? If you want this to work, then you've got to do the work necessary to give it a chance. And you have done none of that. You've done none of that. You said our children are opposite in personality, our parenting styles are opposite in personality, and both of you fight for those parenting philosophies and defend them, and neither one of you are within a country mile of what is a healthy parenting style. You fight to defend yours, you're wrong. You fight to defend yours, you are wrong. I'll tell you what will work when we come back. Closed captioning provided by...
No junk food, please.
Go for the True Move. It's delicious. And nutritious with no artificial growth hormones.
True Move, a truly good thing.
Want to get something off your chest? Sign up for the drphil.com community and weigh in on your favorite episodes and share your personal stories with other community members. Plus, get started on your own blog to share your thoughts on the topics that interest you most. I'll be reading those message boards. Log on to drphil.com today. Well, I am back with what masquerades as a blended family. I say masquerades because this family isn't blended. We've got two warring camps under one roof, and it's because we have two strangers that are married. We have two strangers that are married. You know, to get a driver's license, you have to take a test. Get a marriage license. Do you even need a license anymore? You pay $2? What did you pay, $2? Is it what it costs, $2?
Yeah, but if you're in the military, you can get it fast.
Yeah, good. Let's discount that. Let's fast track this. Look, guys, if you want this to work, you've got to be willing to put the effort in. And you have to understand one thing for absolute drop dead certain. You cannot discipline her children.
Okay.
You cannot discipline his children. You are not their mother. You are not their father. You are a man she married. You are a woman he married. If you were going to be in a father role for these children, you would have needed to been in there before 5 years of age.
Okay.
You aren't. You weren't, so you can't do that. You can support her in disciplining her children, and you can support him in disciplining his. Mm-hmm. This double standard, come on. This is why you have to sit down and negotiate. There are rules for the children. Mm-hmm. There are standards for the children. And children are different. They have different currencies. But children have to know that they are all loved the same and they are all treated the same. I'm very serious when I say you need to go through premarital counseling. Mm-hmm. You need to sit down and say, let's design a family. Let's design a family that we actually begin to create some traditions. We actually begin to do some things where the children want to be part of this. Mm-hmm. And I will arrange that for you.
That would be great.
Thank you.
And every day that you have this woman in your lives is a blessing. Let her know she's loved and appreciated here, right?
Right.
She deserves that. She needs that, and she's earned that. If I do this, if I set this up for y'all, will you really immerse yourself in this? It will be the greatest gift you can give all of your children. What a role model you can be for these children. To say, you know what, it came late, but we decided to learn and do this right. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I want to thank all of my guests for being here today. And I appreciate you coming and bringing your family. I mean, I really, really do.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, this mom found out her husband went to a strip club
21 years ago.
So why did she buy breast implants?
Do you wish now you didn't?
Oh, no. I'm so happy I did.
And a stripper pole?
She was pretending to be a stripper.
You come home and there's fake money all around the stripper pole.
My husband did that.
Did she tell you to give your boyfriend as much sex as he wants?
Yes.
Are you insane? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Okay, I want you to look at Mary Ann. This is what she used to look like. Some would describe her as demure. She was a housewife and mother, rarely wore makeup, and always put her children first. So what would make Mary Ann do a complete 180? And I mean, we are talking a whiplash of a 180. She has gone out and purchased herself some double D's, a back tattoo, a stripper pole, and plans on getting a lot more plastic surgery. Why? Because get this, 2 years ago, she discovered that her husband went to a strip club. 21 years ago. Then again, 15 years ago. So, is Mary Ann overreacting? Is she wrongly reacting? Well, let's hear what she has to say.
I found out 2 years ago that my husband had been to a strip club 4 times during our marriage. My husband said to me, "It's no big deal, right? It's just eye candy." Not. I was so angry and hurt by what he did that I flew to Vegas and went to the exact same strip club he went to. Wow. It was the most seedy, darkest, ugliest thing I've ever saw. I felt like I was in hell. The girls were way too close. Being at the stage, the place they call Perverts Row, that's exactly why they call it that. I think after he told me he went to the strip clubs, I knew that somehow, some way, breasts were important. It didn't take me much time to take my credit card and go pay for them. I went from a size B to what they say at Victoria's Secret, a double D. I was very excited about my new look. I figured my husband married me because he loves me. And when I found out he went to a strip club, I said, bing. Oh, now I got it. I was transforming from the good girl that I've always been to a whore. The next series of surgeries I want to get are my eyes, the upper and lower, a cheek lift, a tummy tuck, and a butt tuck. I don't think I'm ever going to go back to who I was. The mother and the wife and the family person, because men want the whole package.
You took that to mean that you're not enough.
Exactly. And I thought I married a guy that would never step into a place like that.
And what did he do in the strip club? Did he tell you what he did or not do? Or
He sat at Perverts Row, so he didn't know that's what it was called. But he watched, and he stayed there for 30 or 40 minutes, and he said, I wasn't there very long. And I said, I was there for 30 or 40 minutes. It's a long time.
So you went?
I went. And he paid a prostitute to sit with him also. And this is 2 days before my anniversary, 2 times.
Okay, now, when you went, didn't they ultimately kick you out?
No.
You went with your daughter, right?
Yes. This is the one, I thought you were talking about the one in Vegas.
Okay. No, you've been to more than one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Why did they ask you to leave the second one?
I went around to a couple guys and said, if you're married, you probably shouldn't be here.
And management took objection to that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this changed your point of view. You decided that if that's what he wants, or if that's what men want, then that's what you would become.
Pretty much. If you want a whore, now you got one.
You want a whore, I'll just whore up.
Right. Danced around a pole a couple times. He goes, I'm sick of this.
Do you have a stripper pole?
I do.
Where'd you put it?
In his shed, so he can look at it every day.
You put it in his shed?
Yep.
Okay.
He looked the first time, then after about the 10th time, he was like, no more. I've had enough.
You went and had breast implants. Do you wish now you didn't?
Oh, no. I'm so happy I did. And then I said, if you want to go look at boobs, I got them now, so.
And you want to have more done?
I do. So
you want to have a butt lift and a tummy tuck and a facelift? Mm-hmm. You just want to have...
Yeah, like a string.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Marianne's daughter, Miranda, says her mother is taking this way too far. Not to mention, instead of giving her daughter a college education, she says her mom is trying to teach her something entirely different. Take a look.
Ever since my mom found out that my dad went to the strip club 15 years ago, she's made obsessive changes to her body. Cutting her hair, dyeing her hair, getting a large back tattoo, started drinking, getting plastic surgery. She's really freaking out. She's way obsessive over it. Every day it seems to get worse. After my mom's boob job, she actually talked me into getting a boob job. When I went into the doctor's office with her, she kept telling me to go bigger and bigger, and it was really making me feel uncomfortable.
I kept going like, go up, go up, go up.
She says to get big boobs and to have a lot of sex, because if you don't, that your loved one will end up leaving you. My mom has taught me that big boobs and sex is what they're looking for, not education.
Her dad was looking at something else, naked, then somewhere in the back of his mind he desired that.
My mom came up to me and asked if I've ever been to a strip club, and I said no. She wanted to take me because she's never been to one. My mom was going up to the guys, tapping them on the shoulder and whispering in their ear in a loud way, don't do this if you're married. Security escorted her out of the club. My mom's so crazy that she has a stripper pole at the house. The other day I came home and there was fake money all over the floor. She was pretending to be a stripper. She supposedly despises the strippers, but yet she tries to act like one.
Okay, thank you for being here. Now, did she tell you to give your boyfriend as much sex as he wants, or he will look elsewhere?
Yes.
And she wanted you to have this plastic surgery because that's what men want?
Yes.
What are you telling her?
Be a whore.
Well, she wasn't having sex with her boyfriend, and he's like 21. You know, if you don't give them something, they probably will wander.
Are you insane?
No.
You have a beautiful, intelligent daughter here, and you're telling her to just go give up her body so some guy will have a playground?
No, I didn't say that. I said a balance.
Well, it's not exactly a balance. You kind of go over it and say that you should do it a lot.
Okay, look, we're going to find out what Marianne's husband has to say about his wife's new look, new attitude, and her motherly advice to their daughter. You come home and there's fake money all around the stripper pole.
My husband did that.
And later, sisters at war over a will.
What did you do with the money I gave you?
It's not your decision to say whether or not I could live off the money.
Have you accused her of killing your mother?
Yes, I have.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, a wealthy widow claims she was conned by a football hero.
He had swindled me out of $3 million.
Clueless victim?
I'm just a little housewife.
Were you in love with him?
I was not.
But you do refer to him as your boy toy.
Or co-conspirator.
Some people say you became Bonnie to his Clyde, calling your friends up for $500,000, and then everything hit the wall, and you put on your Aunt B face and said, I don't know nothing about nothing.
That's tomorrow.
My mom used to never wear makeup, just never used to do her hair. She used to clean all the time and cook for my dad, but now she's a completely different person.
My house is a disaster, and I don't care.
The dishes are piled up sky high. Trash is laying all over the floor.
I used to be the person that would be cleaning on my days off. I just quit. I threw in the towel.
Marianne says after her husband Robert revealed he went to some strip clubs 21 years ago and 15 years ago, and even went to a Hooters 11 years ago, her self-esteem plummeted. To compensate, she lost over 40 pounds, changed her hair, began wearing makeup, and underwent a breast augmentation. But she says she is not done yet and has plans for more surgery in the next 2 months. Her daughter Miranda says there is no way her mother's behavior is healthy, and she reached out to me for help. Now, Miranda, you have said that your mother has said she wants to basically take out a loan for $30,000 worth of plastic surgery to continue this journey of changing the wrapper, but yet doesn't have money to support your going to college.
I've tried to ask for just $1,000 to take a couple classes, but it seems like they can never just come up with that. But I find it funny that they can spend, or she can spend her money somewhere else.
Maybe you're overreacting and wrongly reacting to what's going on here?
No, because based on my original faith, I believe that you should never see another naked woman besides your wife.
Okay, but yet you're telling your daughter go have sex with her boyfriend and she's not his wife. How does that square with your faith?
I've lost my faith, obviously. And I didn't tell her to have a lot of sex with her boyfriend. I told her that she wasn't having sex with him at all.
What's she telling you about sex and relationship with men?
Stop wearing sweatpants and baggy clothes and to get out of that phase and to show off my body because I'm young.
Did she tell you that she wished she had never had kids?
Yes.
Did she blame having kids on the circumstance she's in?
Yes.
All of this seems okay to you.
Mm-hmm.
You just said, he wants a whore, I'm going to be a whore. I get a stripper pole. You come home and there's fake money all around the stripper pole, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where does that come from?
My husband did that.
Joining us on the phone is Marianne's husband and Miranda's father, Robert. I'm struggling to wrap my head around Marianne's logic here because you went to a strip club 26 years ago.
She's obsessed, and it's on a daily basis. I mean, every day she talks about it.
And what do you think about how she's counseling your daughter here?
No, I think it's terrible. You know, what Marian's doing to her is wrong. And I hope that you can help her.
It's strange to me, Marian, that you think that this is a rational response to what may be a problem or an issue. I don't know.
I don't think anybody should hide anything from your wife or do anything behind their back. And when you hide things, it's cheating. And I don't want that to happen to her.
Okay, I'm with you there. Let's assume that it is a transgression worthy of conversation, okay? Let's talk about the proportionality of your response. You're changing your body, you're changing your values, you're changing your identity, and that is designed to fix what?
This fixes that it's my time for me. It's my time to have some fun. It's my time to do what I feel like doing besides being the wife, the mother, the housewife.
Okay, but are you going to get freshened up and dump him? Is that what you're saying?
We haven't decided what to do yet.
Okay, but in the meantime, you're going to tell her you need to forget about college. You just need to get yourself double D's and have lots of sex and hang on to a man.
No, I just said if you're in a relationship, you need to have sex with a man.
What do you say to yourself when she says that to you?
I'm staying the way I am.
What's the degree of transgression? Are you killing a mosquito with a shotgun? Are you putting your entire marriage on the line?
This February.
The woman accused of pushing her husband to his death.
I'm a horrible person who could do that.
The stakes are higher.
Your daughter is saying there was a struggle. He stumbled and fell backwards. Did you push him out that window?
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
Emotions run deeper.
You're very critical of the woman that has adopted your baby.
She looks like a stripper.
Olivia's been stalking me.
Bring the restraining order. I'll show you where you blatantly lied in it. Bring it.
You're in her face saying, you lie, you lie, you lie.
She's a saint. We're the bad people. Is that what you're telling me?
Tempers get hotter.
Our neighbors make our life a living hell.
They set a mortar shell under the swing set and tried to blow it up.
That is not true. We are being harassed.
Put her on a lie detector test.
And I want you to do one too because the machine is going to blow up.
And we're just getting started.
I had a traumatized 3-year-old girl saying, my daddy hurt me.
Where is he going to hurt you at?
A child does not say those things unless she was coached.
You cannot coach a 3-year-old. Ask anyone.
That is coaching.
I came here to help my daughter, and you turned this into a giant circus.
I'm done. From a woman's perspective, I'm curious, what do you guys think about this? All right, what do you have to say about this? What do you think?
That's what your thoughts are, that he's not liking you for who you are, then you don't need to be with him. You know, I don't think you need to change who you are because you're not being true to who you are.
But what do you think about her reaction to him going to a strip club 26 years ago?
Well, I think that's a little crazy.
Stand up.
If you're basing your happiness on your looks, you will never be happy. It will droop, it will wrinkle. And I just encourage you, Mom, to find peace within yourself. However, maybe Dr. Phil can help you do that because you will never be happy until you do that. And daughter, you go. Good for you.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Back here in the blue dress.
I think I'm kind of surprised the fact that it's been 26 years ago, but he never left you. He never even indicated that he wanted to leave you for something else. He keeps coming back home. So for that, he loves you, not your exterior, but what's inside of you. And I think you've got redirected some things here.
What do you say to what these folks are saying?
Based on the faith that I had, a lot of Christian women would say that they would not want their husbands in a facility or an environment like that at all.
Oh, I don't think anybody here said they want their husband to go into strip club. I think it's a matter of what's the degree of transgression. Are you killing a mosquito with a shotgun? Are you putting your entire marriage on the line? Are you changing your value system? Are you changing your identity? Are you changing the values by which you parent your daughter based on a transgression that is just simply not of the magnitude to warrant the reaction?
Well, you see, it is of a magnitude to me, because I thought I married a man who completely would never, ever do those things.
Okay. Robert, chime in here.
I made a bad choice, couple bad choices.
Couple.
And, she's never going to let me live it down. It's just, she's crazy.
Let me conclude this then by saying that can't be what all of this is about. This is about you, and it's sent you spinning off. Mm-hmm. You're not the kind of person that would be giving that kind of advice to your daughter, because that's counter to everything that you've ever believed or stood for, correct?
Correct.
And him walking into some strip club 26 years ago, 15 years ago, and Hooters, which is a public place in a strip mall, and because of that, you're now telling your daughter, you need to get naked and have sex to keep a man around. It is absolutely counter to everything you've ever believed about forming a relationship based on a meeting of the minds, a meeting of the souls, respect, mutual admiration, all of the things that go into forming a bond with somebody else across life. And I can tell you there is no relationship that is ever going to be a success-only journey. There are going to be problems, there are going to be hiccups, there are going to be mistakes that are made. And if this is a life sentence for Robert, if you're never going to forgive him for this, you need to tell him and let him go. Because if this is a life sentence, then you can tell him he needs to move on. But I don't think you can know that until you figure out what's really driving this. And I'm happy to get you some help with that.
Thank you.
Don't decide to get a divorce. Don't continue working on your body. And don't be giving your daughter any huge advice about how she needs to get a stripper pole over at her house. You just need to take a look at you first. I mean, what do you got to lose, right?
Right. Sounds good.
Okay. All right, next we're going to talk to another family that's having a dilemma. Two sisters at war over their mother's will. Who should get the house? One of them wants to sell it, but the problem is the other one's in it. She's saying, you ain't going to sell it with me here, and I'm not going anywhere. We'll be right back.
My sister Jana has lived in my mom's house for 5 years since my mom passed away. I want my sister just to get out right now.
My sister's become a greedy troll. I am not moving out of that house.
Take a look at some sweet family photos from two of my guests today. Now, their mother passed away 5 years ago, and even though the loss of a parent can be tough, you hope it's a time when siblings would come together, but not these sisters. They are in a war over mom's will. Now, Jana says her sister Lisa has stolen most of her share of what their mother wanted to divide equally and has become a greedy troll who now wants to kick her out of her mother's house. Now, Jana has lived in their mother's home since her death, and she just will not move out. Lisa wants to sell the family home and says, to sum it up, Jana is trespassing and has no right to live there. She wants her sister out of the house, and she wants her out now.
I want my sister just to get out of my mom's house right now. My sister Jana has lived in my mom's house for 5 years since my mom passed away. Jana doesn't pay any utilities or rent. I pay everything. Jana lives there for free. For about 3 years now, Jana has accused me of stealing money from my mom. The money was left to me as sole beneficiary to distribute at my discretion. I gave Jana $13,000 after my mom passed. I gave Jana my mom's car and she totaled it. Her living in the house free for 5 years is about $15,000. I've given Jana the value of $28,000. She's never said thank you for anything. She's ungrateful and feels entitled. I told Jana in September 2014 that I'd wanted to sell the house. Jana had said that if I would give her her share of the proceeds, then she could afford to move someplace else and she would leave the house. But I don't have those funds to give her. Once this house is sold and those proceeds are distributed, I'm done.
Well, Jana says Lisa is not doing what their mother wanted and is only looking out for herself.
I am not moving out of that house. The house is paid for. My sister's become a greedy troll. Lisa's been very shady since my mom died. I don't know the person she's become. I believe that Lisa's talked mom into making her beneficiary only. I guess Lisa decided that since she was the perfect child, she was entitled to what mom had. After my mom died, Lisa had her taxes done. There were tens of thousands of dollars. I saw none of it. My mom's money has basically gone into my sister's house, new car, and the other little fun things. She'll show me something that she bought. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, gee, I own part of that because you bought that with the money that you took from me, that mom left me. I want her to admit she's wrong. I want her to make it right. Lisa chose to have money over having me as a sister.
Well, first off, let me say to both of you, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
What would you hope to gain today? What could come out of this that would help heal this family?
I want her to admit that she lied to my mom. She told mom that she would split everything evenly in between the three of us.
And what would you hope to gain from today?
I want to resolve the house. I want to be able to sell the house. And
why haven't you sold the house?
Because Jana's still living there.
Well,
and I don't want to put her on the street.
Now, have you accused her of killing your mother?
Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I have. Yes, I have.
I don't know about you, but when somebody accuses me of killing my mother, the conversation kind of dries up from that point forward.
Yeah. Maybe that was my cue, and I guess I didn't take it.
You missed that? Well, here's the text from Jana to Lisa, November 7th to 15th, so not too long ago. Jana, you're a thief, a liar, and a troll. You're going to rot in hell. You never loved my mom. You just wanted what she had. You probably even killed her. Funny how all of a sudden you stopped taking her to her appointments. Kind of makes one wonder. And how you had her buried so quickly without a medical exam being done.
Everybody was shocked that she was buried that quickly. I was just surprised that there was no viewing beforehand.
First hour of the funeral was a viewing.
So there was a viewing?
I didn't want to see her like that, and that's why I chose not to be there when she took her. Well, no, and that's fine, but I wasn't aware that there was even a viewing before the funeral.
But to say it's strange there wasn't a viewing, actually it's strange that you weren't at the viewing.
Well,
but there was a viewing, is the point.
I didn't want to. I wasn't aware that there was a viewing until just now, so, and I apologize for that.
Next, it's been 5 years since her mother's passing, so why hasn't Lisa purchased a headstone for their mother's grave? Jana really wants to know the answer to that one. We'll be right back.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. Was this wealthy widow a victim?
He had swindled me out of $3 million.
Or a co-conspirator?
People say you became Bonnie to his Clyde, calling your friends up for $500,000.
That's tomorrow.
I believe that Lisa is so greedy that she hasn't even purchased a headstone for my mom yet. These are the carnations I bought her at Thanksgiving. I come out here and visit her, and it makes me sad that she doesn't have a headstone. It bothers me because she was very adamant that she have a headstone immediately.
I knew that doing my mom's headstone would be the last thing that I would ever do for my mom. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
I guess Lisa doesn't feel that it's important enough for mom to have a headstone, even though she promised mom that she would.
I designed something and showed it to Jana, And she didn't really like it. So I said, well, then come up with something on your own.
She has no respect for my mom's feelings. She just flat out doesn't care.
I'm going to get a headstone. As soon as the house sells and all of this is behind me.
I believe now that the money is gone, that she doesn't plan on doing it. I don't think Lisa even comes here anymore.
Why no headstone?
At first, it was just really hard for me to do. I couldn't bring myself to do it. And then when I did decide to go ahead and do it, I asked Jenna if she'd go with me so we could do it together. And she didn't want to go. So I picked a design. She didn't like the design. So she said she would find something on her own.
So you think there should be a headstone?
I think there's,
and
yes.
you think she should move out of the house?
Agreed.
I have an email from Lisa from less than a month ago that says Mom would be thrilled to know that the house would be staying in the family.
If you were to buy it, that's correct.
Well, you've lived there for 5 years rent-free?
The house is paid for.
Yeah.
Lisa doesn't pay all the utilities. She pays the PG&E. She pays the power. I pay the water bill, and I do the upkeep on the house.
There are animals in the house?
There are animals in the house.
Or are they degrading the house?
They go out in the backyard and they go to the bathroom. I mean, they don't tear up the walls. They are not destroying the house.
But is there a strong odor in the house?
You know what? There could be.
Because our crew refused to shoot in the house for health reasons.
I've always been a pack rat. Insane pack rat.
The house, frankly, is a disaster. She does not have a lot of organizational skills.
I've always been the queen of clutter. I will take a pile of stuff and just move it to a different section of the house. I wouldn't say a hoarder, but I have a hard time throwing things away.
Paisley, oh, you silly girl.
Her work at the animal shelter has fostered hundreds of dogs in the last 5 years, to the point that she actually tore the carpet out of our mother's bedroom because it had so much animal stuff on it.
The truth is, you are the executor, and it says that there should be a 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 split unless you deem otherwise. If the house is sold at what it's assessed to be worth right now, and you were to distribute 1/3 of it to her, you would be beyond 1/3 of the estate right now with what she has received if she got 1/3 of the house. So
we had gone to a lawyer last year, I think it was last year, and he had said that even though I had been in the house for as long as I had, that she would still owe me, it was like $30,000, even though I had been living there for rent, with no rent.
Well, when the house is sold, you'll get that anyway,
well,
so you'll be all fixed.
I don't plan on
Which
leaving.
means
I
you're
plan on
biting
buying
them out
the house.
nothing.
I'm going to buy the house.
She either buys it or moves. It's that simple. I need a break. Next, Jenna isn't the only one who says Lisa is going against her mother's wishes. We're going to find out what their mom's best friend has to say when we come back.
Do you need Dr. Phil's help? Text Phil to 88500 and share your story for a chance to appear on the show. Standard message and data rates may apply.
My sister had called and said, well, what do you want of Mom's? And I was like, excuse me? Mom's still alive. Don't even go there. And she said, no, we need to figure this out. What do you want? And I was like, I don't want anything. I want my mom. She's like, well, I get the bedroom furniture. It totally creeped me out. I didn't want to answer it, but she insisted that I decide what I want. She needed an answer. It was just weird.
Well, Lisa and Jana agree on one thing. They say the relationship took a turn for the worse after the death of their mother 5 years ago. Joining us on the phone is Kathy, who was best friends with their mother. Kathy, what can you add to this conversation?
One of the times when I took Krista to an appointment, we were talking in the car, and she said she was worried about distributing the money equally. But then she said she decided it was better to just go ahead and distribute it equally among the three kids.
Well, it's good to hear a third party say what she wanted to do, and I think that's consistent with what it says. And look, there's a personality issue here, girls, but I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do here, and you'll get this behind you. You need to put the house up for sale, and I can tell you, you're not going to be able to sell the house with her in it.
That's correct.
So you need to either agree a date certain for her to be out, and you have to give notice of at least 60 days for her to be evicted from the house, which you've already done, which means you could have the sheriff go evict her this week. And if she wants to buy the house, then she'll either be evicted or she'll buy the house. Then all you have left is your relationship to start rebuilding that or not.
No. See, she's not going to let the money go. She's not going to let...
She had given my brother $20,000, and she had paid off his child support, which was $37,000. Mom wanted money to be split into thirds.
What did you do with the money I gave you?
I survived on the money.
You didn't work.
Lisa, it wasn't your...
When I stopped giving you money, you worked.
But it wasn't... It's not for you to say that you're not going to give me money because it's not your decision to say whether or not I could live off the money.
If you think that there's money that you shouldn't get, then you need to get a lawyer and pursue it, because I'm telling you, you're going to be sadly disappointed.
Well, there's...
Because I've been through it all, and you guys are fighting about nothing. For some reason, you're just not doing it. And so I'm telling you, if you really want to get this over with, then what you need to do is sell the house. You're not going to sell that house with her in it because it is not marketable. You need to just man up here and do it.
Okay.
Coming up, find out why my next guest lost half her body weight, yet still doesn't feel her life is complete. That's next. We can't do this show without you, our studio audience.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Because we have a lot of fun here, don't we?
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445.
My next guest recently lost 125 pounds and found herself a new man. She is a busy real estate agent raising 2 teenagers. So with a wedding on the way, she wants a fresh new look for her new life. Take a look.
I want a refresh look for the next chapter in my life. I was in a previous marriage, I wasn't happy, and I started to gain weight. I knew that this heavy person just wasn't me. I started to regain control of my life. I lost 125 pounds, and I've kept it off. And I recently got engaged to my fiancé, Scott. I'm really starting to see the signs of aging. I see the wrinkles around my lips, my eyes, on my forehead. I really want something to give my face a pick-me-up. When it comes to putting on makeup, I'm a no-fuss kind of girl. I couldn't even tell you what kind of beauty products I use. I just throw everything in my purse. I'm also starting a new career as a real estate agent. I want to look fabulous for my clients. When they see me, I want them to look at the cracks in the foundation. I don't want them to look at the cracks in my face.
Well, sometimes you just need to hit the refresh button to get your life on track. So I sent Paula to #7 beauty expert, Dr. Jessica Wu, for some advice.
I'm so excited for this big wedding day. I want to look like $1 million.
I understand that one of your concerns is some wrinkles, and sun damage is a big cause of wrinkles. So how often do you use your sunscreen?
You know, not very often, to be honest. I leave it on my boat. It's probably been there for 5 years.
My suggestion is to check your sunscreens for expiration dates and start fresh with new products that are really going to give you the best bang for your buck. I often ask my patients to bring in their makeup and brushes.
I've got them right here.
Got some brushes, and you've got some sponges. Now tell me where you usually keep these.
You know, I usually keep them right here in my bag. Is that a bad thing?
Brushes can pick up germs and bacteria, and it's going to end up on your skin, leading to breakouts and possibly infections. So be sure to wash these at least once a week in warm, soapy water. And zip up those brushes in a nice, clean makeup bag. So tell me about your skincare routine.
I really don't have much of a routine. In fact, I rarely wash my makeup off at night.
You just need to wash your face and then add what I like to call a game changer. This new product comes from the top skincare brand in the UK called No. 7. It's Protect and Perfect Intense Advanced Serum. It's clinically proven to reduce the appearance of lines and wrinkles in just 4 weeks. In fact, I know this serum works because it's the best-selling anti-aging serum in the UK. The best part is that it's now available in the US. You can find this at Target for less than $30. As an early wedding gift, Paula, No. 7 is giving you a year's supply.
I can't thank you guys enough.
I hope that my advice will help you look and feel new and refreshed as you get ready for your walk down the aisle.
Okay. Welcome, No. 7 beauty expert and superstar dermatologist, Dr. Jessica Wu. Welcome. Now, did I hear you right that you actually can get an infection from these brushes?
You absolutely can. In fact, studies have shown that bacteria, including staph, strep, and even E. coli, which lives in the bathroom, can end up on your makeup brushes, which means if you've got a small pimple or cut or scratch on your face and you use those contaminated brushes, guess what? You're going to get a skin infection, or even worse, it may even end up in your bloodstream and make you really sick. So bottom line, ladies, please keep your makeup tools clean.
Well, you gave Paula some great advice about refreshing her skincare habits. It seems like consistency is like really the key, though, right?
Yes, it really is. It's definitely the key because, as with many things in life, you've really got to stick with it to see results. And that's why I love the idea of Paula adding a serum to her everyday routine. And No. 7 Protect and Perfect Intense Advanced Serum is really going to give her quick results that will continue to get even better over time.
So, Paula, you have a new skincare regime then, right? So you're actually going to do this?
Yes. I'm so excited and so ready to start this.
But you're also concerned about a blended family, true?
Yeah.
How many kids are involved?
3 teenagers.
Yeah. And I can tell you, the #1 mistake that people make when they're blending a family is trying to discipline the other's children. Because let me tell you, I don't care how much his kids like you or your kids like him, you're not their mother, you're not their father. You just simply can't cross-discipline each other's kids.
Okay.
I mean, that'll keep you out of trouble. And look, I mean, all of this should help you refresh your new life and upcoming marriage. So, you think you're ready for all of this?
I am so ready. I'm ready for a new beginning and to start all refreshed again. Yeah. And you're going to be using your No. 7, so, I mean, she's got good advice and good stuff, right?
Yes, she does. She's ready for her new life.
All right. We want everyone to feel fresh and renewed, so the whole audience is going home with No. 7 serum today. All right? Thanks to Jessica Wu and the folks at No. 7. And, of course, Paula, congratulations on your engagement and good luck with your marriage.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. All right, thanks so much. Talk to you soon. Go on, everybody. See you guys.
Dr. Phil. A wealthy widow claims she was conned by a football hero.
Kid swindled me out of $3 million.
Clueless victim?
I'm just a little housewife.
Were you in love with him?
I was not.
But you do refer to him as your boy toy.
Or co-conspirator.
Some people say you became Bonnie to his Clyde, calling your friends up for $500,000, and then everything hit the wall, and you put on your Aunt B face and said, I don't know nothing about nothing. Let's do it.
Not a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Anita was once married to the CEO of the popular fast food restaurant chain Wendy's for 25 years. They lived in a lavish home, owned a yacht, hosted extravagant parties, and mingled with celebrities. But this socialite was living a double life of conning and passing bad checks. And it involved this man, a former football star. Take a listen.
Hey, I won't get us the money today, but it's going to take a couple checks from you. Okay? One for and one for another guy that I know, and he's just going to hold him till I pay him back. Okay? Big thanks for helping me, but I'm going to give you part of that money and give the other part to you got a little cash too. Okay?
So I'm supposed to write a check to what?
You need to get on the freeway and meet others at Polaris.
What am I meeting him for?
You're giving him a check and he's taking.
That was part of a wiretap that brought down former Ohio State and NFL quarterback Art Schlichter, who Anita claims not only duped her out of $3 million, but also forced her to scam her friends and former employees out of $500,000.
She's a woman who once had friends all over town, but now they're victims.
We've learned Anita L. Barney is at the center of at least a half-dozen lawsuits saying she owes a bundle of money to people for promissory notes she never kept and tickets she never delivered.
Barney secretly used the money to fuel a ticket scheme involving former quarterback Art Schlichter. Did you swindle anybody, Mr. Schlichter? Schlichter promised to repay Barney for money she lent him on the deal. He allegedly even had Barney take part in the scheme, convincing her to find other quote-unquote investors.
A source close to the case says they were going to take investor money and buy tickets so the investors could then make big profits. All told, Barney's accused of owing more than $360,000.
She said, well, could you lend me $30? I said, well, Neil, I said, that's all I got. That's my life savings. She said, why are you questioning me? I'm not going to mess over you.
I took it from my grandchildren's accounts for college. We are innocent bystanders.
Barney's victims told the judge she was as guilty as Schlichter.
She preyed upon us the same way Art Schlichter preyed upon her.
But I certainly do not want the public to believe that here is a simple old woman who was duped.
Well, now that is the question we're asking during this show. Was Anita really a clueless victim, or was she a cunning co-conspirator? Now, I plan on finding out today in an exclusive interview. But first, here's what she said about Art and really just everything that went down.
Art Schlichter conned millions of dollars from me. I lost my home, my car, and I had to file bankruptcy. I also lost my family and friends. Art was very trustful. He was very convincing. He wanted to borrow $10,000. Art had me writing checks for less than $10,000 so that the IRS would not be suspicious. He started asking for larger amounts. They were $25,000 and $30,000. Then shortly after that, Art asked me for $100,000 to pay people back that he owed money to. I wanted to help him, so there was no persuasion needed. He said that the mafia broke his ribs and they would come after me and maybe my family if I didn't help him get some money to pay them. So he had me terrified. I slept with a shotgun in my closet. He had people following me and watching my condo at all times. He suggested that I get a reverse mortgage. I did get one for $185,000. I never took any of the money for myself. He took all the money. In less than a year, he had swindled me out of $3 million. When Art got all my money, he wanted me to start calling my friends and asking them for money. Art had me tell my friends different stories. He told me to see if any of my friends wanted to buy high state tickets. One story Art had me say was, I need a personal loan. My friends would believe me because I was a very honest person. I ended up getting over $300,000 from my friends. I believed my friends would get their money back, and I was very excited about that because I was going to make my friends money. Never dreaming he was lying. Never. I think of the list of people that I came in contact and borrowed money from, and I feel so guilty. I'm the worst victim. They think they lost a lot. I've lost everything. My reputation, my friends, and my family.
Well, Anita, welcome. We're here talking about a very difficult time in your life. And you've actually written a book about it called Quarterback Sneak. And I didn't just read the book, I studied the book because there's a big question about this, about whether you were part of this scam or whether you were a total victim in this scam, right? You met Art Schleister how?
1980. My husband and 3 other gentlemen and our 10-year-old son flew to Michigan to go salmon fishing for the day. Well, the plane crashed. Everyone was killed except for my 10-year-old son.
He was severely injured on the brink of losing his life. And in walks this hero. He might as well have had a cape blowing in the breeze behind him.
Yes.
And at the time, Art was doing what?
He was a senior at Ohio State. He was a quarterback.
Yeah, they were national power, and it was a big deal, had a big impact.
Very much so. Got him out of his depression. It was beautiful.
So you were very grateful to him, right?
Very much so.
But then you didn't see him again. You saw him 30 years later.
Correct.
At a church.
Yes. I just purchased his book, not knowing I was going to see him for my son's birthday. And so I took the book and asked him to sign it, which he did. And he said, well, how's Alan doing? And I says, well, it's his birthday coming up. I'm having a party. You're welcome to come if you'd like. So I gave him my number to call me. And he did call, and he said, I can't make it, but I would love to get together.
He does call you soon?
Yes. He said, I'd like to bring lunch. So he brought Wendy's.
And he knew you'd been married to the CEO of Wendy's.
I didn't tell him that, but he knew it.
Yeah, he knew it. Okay, and did anything financial happen at that lunch?
He said, I really would like to have a loan of $10,000 if you could loan it to me so that I could buy a car and drive back and forth to Indiana to reestablish relationships with my daughters. And I could not say no, because what he had done for Alan. And I could afford it.
It wasn't long before he asked to borrow $100,000.
That's correct.
He asked for checks below $10,000 to avoid the IRS.
I didn't know that at the time, but yes, that's what I found out later.
And he told you the mafia would go after you if you didn't give him the money.
He told me this one time that some thugs from the mafia just beat him up and broken his ribs. And so he really needed some money to pay them off. And if we don't get the money, they will come after you as well. And I said, but I haven't done anything. I'm not with the mafia.
And he asked you to do a reverse mortgage on your home, which you did. You took out like $180,000.
Yes, I did.
He then, you say, pressured you to borrow money from friends.
Yes.
And then he told you he would have to kill you if you knew what he was investing in.
I was always asking him, what are you doing with the money? And are you getting people paid off like you are telling me that you are doing? And he said, I can't tell you. If I tell you, I'll have to kill you.
You never thought to consult an attorney?
I didn't have one. I couldn't afford one. I didn't have an attorney.
You couldn't afford one?
I had nothing. I was losing everything. And then I was afraid to tell because I didn't know what he'd have somebody do to me. I'm just a little housewife. I really was afraid.
Well, I've done some math, and I've done some research, and I have some things to say to Anita after the break here. You are going to be shocked. People stood up in court and said that very thing. They said, come on, do not think this is just some little lady over here that got conned.
You're absolutely right.
She is a con man deluxe, and now she's saying, oh, right? And later,
I would loan him money for a car again.
You would loan this guy money again?
I don't know how to explain myself. I'm sorry.
You can't make sense out of nonsense. That's why you're struggling.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. Did she allow her own children?
Did you beat this child when you were angry?
I probably beat them all.
To be alone with their grandfather?
She knew he was molesting us. He was so weak. I didn't think he had the strength. I could be wrong. He was good at what he did.
All-new Dr. Phil. Then on Monday, an exclusive Inside the OJ series.
It's factual. It's not 100% factual.
There are revelations.
I'm seething.
It's shocking.
That's Monday.
It was a story that shocked the Buckeyes and the nation. A football hero taken down by a wealthy socialite for wire fraud, bank fraud, subscribing a false tax return, theft, and engaging in a pattern of corrupt activity. Now, in an exclusive interview, she talks about how she turned the tables on a con artist whom she claims stole her fortune and really destroyed her life. And when we're talking about taking your fortune, we're talking about a lot of money here. These are checks that were given to him by you. November 09 is kind of when this started, $33,000. December, right away, second month, jumps up to $194,580 in the second month of giving him money. January, $90,500. February 2010, $102,104. Wire transfer, $30,500. March 2010, $106,100. April 2010, $255,000. May, $166,400. June, $46,000. August, $55,000. September, $119,000. October, $368,000. November, $108,000. December, $60,000. Then on unknown dates, $173,600 for a total of $1,907,784.
That's horrible. It's horrible.
That is a lot of money. And you say, I didn't have the money for an attorney?
Because I believed.
Is it that you didn't have the money or you didn't think you needed one? There's a big difference.
Okay, you're correct on that. I didn't think I needed one because I supposedly was getting, his attorney was calling me and saying all this money is coming in, he's from his book, and all this money is going to be paying you back.
He comes to your house and within 8 weeks is doing a cashotomy on you of like $300,000 in the first 6 weeks. You've got to tell me, at the time, what was your motivation to do this?
I was willing to help him. My husband and I helped a lot of people over the years.
If you're philanthropic about this, then why hide it? Why not tell people? You said, I didn't want anyone to know.
Because he said, if you tell anyone, I will be gone, you will not get your money back, and I will spend it, or you'll never find me ever again. And it's coming in. Just be patient. I got $600,000 coming Monday. Meet me. And I go get it, and it wouldn't be there. And then it'll be another time. So.
Okay, but at that point, don't you go,
Well, I did. And then I'd ask the money. He'd get so angry, and he'd cuss and carry on. And I did not know where to turn because I was so ashamed and embarrassed.
Doesn't it occur to you to say, hit the bricks, bitch? Get out.
I didn't call him bitch, but I did say some words.
I mean,
yes, I did. I agree with you.
And you say you didn't want anybody to know that you were involved with him, but on page 162 of your book, you say, of course there was a bit of excitement when he showed up unexpectedly at my regular Wednesday night haunt to meet my friends.
Wasn't excitement on my part. He was excitement for the people that were there. Oh, here comes Art Schleister.
Were you in love with him?
I was not.
But you do refer to him as your boy toy at one point.
Well, when I went to, people were always in Florida, always trying to fix me up with people. And I laughed, said, oh, I don't need a boyfriend. I got a, what is it, boy toy, whatever you call it.
That's what I call it. It's what you call it.
All right, well, whatever. Sorry, I apologize.
You said at one point he did get a little frisky.
Yes.
And so I thought, well, I'll indulge him. But then when he couldn't perform, I came to my senses.
Yes.
Well, you sigh, you wrote it, I didn't write it.
I did write it. I I did. I was just going, rolling my eyes because I did it.
You're telling me that you weren't distracted by having this young quarterback hero pursuing you in some way?
Well, I was single. He was single. And just something happened that night, but really did not happen. We did not have a sexual affair at all. It's embarrassing now that people have to know what I did. I feel so guilty.
The alternative theory that some people have advanced is that you became Bonnie to his Clyde, and you were calling your friends up and setting them up and knocking them down for $500,000. And then everything hit the wall, and you put on your Aunt B face and said, I don't know nothing about nothing.
Oh, I don't think I did that.
But you know that's what people stood up in court and said that very thing. They said, come on,
okay, yes.
do not think this is just some little old lady over here that got conned.
You're absolutely right.
She is a con man deluxe, and now she's saying, oh, right?
That's right. That's right. That's what they were saying.
He knocked you down for $1.9 million, and you're saying you needed a car. I would have some controls, but let's get him some wheels. And later,
I worked for her, and I was just thrilled to be able to help her.
You haven't paid her back.
No.
The court ordered you to pay restitution, but you said I shouldn't have to pay anybody back.
This February,
the woman accused of pushing her husband to his death.
I'm a horrible person who could do that.
the stakes are higher.
Your daughter's saying there was a struggle. He stumbled and fell backwards. Did you push him out that window?
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
Emotions run deeper.
You're very critical of the woman that has adopted your baby.
She looks like a stripper. Olivia's been stalking me.
Bring the restraining order. I'll show you where you blatantly lied in it. Bring it.
You're in her face saying, you lie, you lie, you lie.
She's a saint. We're the bad people. Is that what you're telling me?
Tempers get hotter.
Our neighbors make our life a living hell.
They set a mortar shell under the swing set and tried to blow it up.
That is not true. We are being harassed.
Put her on the lie detector test.
And I want you to do one too because the machine is going to blow up.
And we're just getting started.
I had a traumatized 3-year-old girl saying, my daddy hurt me. Where is he going to hurt you at?
A child does not say those things unless she was coached.
You cannot coach a 3-year-old. Ask anyone.
That is coaching.
I came here to help my daughter, and you turned this into a giant circus.
I'm done. When we were interviewing you about the book and for the show, didn't you tell us that you would do it again?
I would loan him money for a car again, but that would be no. Wait just a minute. But then I would control the situation. But if he would ask me start all over again, I would loan him $10,000, but I would cut it off. I would never give him another penny after that.
You're actually telling me you would loan this guy money again?
I won't.
With controls?
I don't know how to explain myself. I'm sorry.
You can't make sense out of nonsense. That's why you're struggling.
Well,
you would give this man money again? He knocked you down for $1.9 million, and you're saying, if he needed a car, I would have some controls, but let's get him some wheels. It kind of sounds ridiculous when you hear it said back to you, doesn't it?
Yes, very much so. I will not give him any money. I will never see the man again. If he even tries to call me, the law will be called.
I feel better.
And also, well, here's also, I plan to be there saying, do not let this man out. And they asked him how many people he had conned.
You an honest woman?
Yes, I am.
You didn't con those people?
No, I lied. He had me lying to them. He wrote scripts to me, scripts for me to say to these people. And he said, if you don't, it was always, I wanted my money back. And he said, if you don't get money for me to pay these people back, that's what he was always saying. I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be gone.
Okay, so you were willing to throw your friends under the bus to get your money back?
Because I was desperate I didn't want him running. I didn't want him to leave.
No, finish your sentence. I was desperate.
Yes, I wanted to get my money back, too.
To get my money back.
And I said
so
that.
you're willing to lie to your friends to get your money back?
Yes.
Well, let's listen to one of the conversations. Just hear this. We'll talk about it. Hear this.
So all you got to do is say, I'm going to put $9,500 in your account Monday morning. Say I ordered money, I'm going to put money in your account Monday morning. I just cannot do it today because I'm not in town. So the money will be available in there Monday morning. I'll go to the bank, give me your account number, and I will, don't tell her I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Tell her you're going to do it.
Okay.
And I'll go deal with her on Sunday if I need to.
I'm doing
All right?
it.
And you'll call her Monday afternoon. You need her account number. Call her Monday afternoon, make sure she got it, and then make arrangements for the next step. That's all you got to say.
Okay. All right.
That was him telling you what lies to tell them.
Yes. And he had written scripts out for me to say to them as well.
And you said, okay, I'll do anything.
Well, I was working with undercover then, and they're trying to get me to to lead him on to try to get information about where's the money, what he's doing. So I was lying to him. I was lying to everybody.
That was believable to him because that was typical of your conversations.
Yes, he'd asked me on occasion if I was wired, and I said, why would I be wired? And are you doing something wrong that I should be wiring you?
Okay, a guy's taking money from you, hand over fist, and asking you if you're wired, and nothing clicks. It says, you know what? I need to go talk to somebody.
But it was clicking. I knew it was starting to set in, yes, and that's why I eventually said the only way to stop this is to call the authorities, and I did.
If you're writing this book because you're wanting people to know what really happened, right?
I'm trying to, yes.
And tell me what was behind the decision of, like, showing this big, massive house that you lived in and the yacht, and you went through and you talked about being in the Ed Sullivan Theater when the Beatles performed, and in the picture here with Eddie Fisher and Vice President Bush and Regis Philbin, and flying around on private jets with Henry Mancini and all of these people, and that doesn't sound like just a little old housewife.
Over the years, people have wanted me to write a book about the life that I led. Mm-hmm. And this is before I ever met Bob, even. And I never would do that because I felt that it was bragging, and I didn't want to do that. And then I didn't even want to write this book to begin with. But the authorities thought I should, and they thought I should start the beginning of my life to see what kind of life I had and how a con artist can take everything from you.
The authorities wanted you to write this book? Mm-hmm. Anita says her daughter resents her for getting involved with Art after she was warned to stay away and not give him any money. So we're going to meet her daughter and find out what she has to say about that when we come back.
The relationship I once had with my mother has been ruined. There's trust issues, there's been lies, deceit. I don't know how to fix it. I'm so angry that one man could ruin our family.
Was Anita conned by a football Casanova, or is she a scamming seductress herself, as some people testified in court? That's what we're trying to determine today. Anita says her daughter Angela hates her and calls her an embarrassment to the family for scamming her own friends out of $500,000 to give to former football star Art Schlichter.
My mother was the type of woman who would give to everyone. She was very sweet and kind, but after my mother started to spend a lot of time with Art Schlichter, she became a different person. She was very cold. She was distant towards me.
My daughter would ask me questions, but I had to lie to her because I couldn't tell her what was going on. And I was even afraid to tell her because I didn't know if she would confront Art.
In 2010, I'd asked my mother for money to get eye surgery.
I told her I could not loan her the money because it was tied up in a trust. But that was not true. I didn't have the money. I was lying.
The relationship I once had with my mother has been ruined. There's trust issues, there's been lies, deceit. I don't know how to fix it.
My daughter was very angry that I could give a stranger money and not family members.
Part of that money was supposed to be for our future children or grandchildren. I did contact the state attorney, the FBI, and the local police, but they could not do anything about it. Unfortunately, no one ever got their money back.
I've shamed my daughter, and I've shamed my family.
I'm so angry that one man could ruin our family. My mother trusted Art. He took everything she owned. I'm furious about it. I don't like it, and I hope Art Schleister burns in hell. I have a hard time, even today, still trying to trust her. My mother didn't think about anybody else's feelings in this situation.
Angela, thanks for being here. When you warned her about this, you were very straight about it, right? You just said, you should not be involved with this guy. You should not give him one dime.
The first time my brother actually told her, do not talk to this man, do not invite him to my birthday party, stay away from him. And I was actually staying at her house at that time and had answered the phone. And it was a man's voice, and he was talking, I want to say sexy, and he thought I was my mom, and I said, sorry, this is Angela, not Anita. And his voice changed after that, became more professional.
What did she say?
She was in denial. She was in denial. She was just like, well, it's no big deal. I'm not involved with him. She just lied to me.
You didn't know she was giving him the money.
I heard it through the grapevine in the beginning, that there was a possibility that she was having a relationship with him and giving him money.
We kind of compiled a list of the people that were scammed by her, she says, at the insistence of him. You know, friend, $90,000. Former housekeeper, $85,000. Personal trainer, $30,000. Friend, $20,000. Housekeeper's mother, $10,000. Friend, $50,000. Friend, $30,000. Friend, $28,000. Singer, $10,000. Friend, $31,000. Friend, $25,000. Former teacher, $10,000. Maintenance worker, $14,000. An employee, $39,000. Truck driver, $20,000. I mean, it just goes on and on for a grand total of $898,300. These were real, everyday people that were emptying savings accounts to give you the money. And you knew you were lying to them when you were telling them what you were telling them, right?
I believed it because he was paying sometimes, and it was coming through. But then then he stopped paying, and that's when I didn't know what to do or where to go. And then eventually it had to stop.
Well, one of those former friends even wrote Anita a letter. And it says, Anita, what were you thinking? You are one of the dumbest people on earth, or you were in love with the guy. You scammed your friends and family, so you should go to jail along with Art.
He used to say, I want you to fall in love with me so that you won't turn me in.
When somebody says, I want you to fall in love with me so you don't turn me in.
I said, what are you doing wrong?
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, a daughter confronts her mom.
Do you know who her father is?
It's not the guy she thinks it is.
Then on Monday, an exclusive Inside the OJ series.
It's not 100% factual.
That's Monday.
A lot of people here, particularly those that felt the sting of losing this money, they're asking the same question I'm asking, which is motive. And saying you're either in love with him, or so they're trying to say, why? Why? You had your son, you had your daughter, you had...
she had everything.
Bells going off in your head.
I didn't love him. He used to say, I want you to fall in love with me so that you won't turn me in. And I said, well, what are you doing wrong? You're going to pay everybody back. I don't understand. I didn't understand why I wasn't in love with him. And that's not why I did it, truly. I thought he would pay back.
But take me through this moment. When somebody says, I want you to fall in love with me so you don't turn me in.
I said, what are you doing wrong? I said, what are you doing wrong? Dr. Phil, I get it.
Is that not, I don't know, a clue? Is that not a clue?
Yes, it is. It is. It is.
And you say, oh, what are you doing wrong? What?
Okay. I was working with...
I'm shoveling cash at you with both hands. That would go on my short list of what he was doing wrong. Wouldn't that? Come on. Give me a credible explanation for what you were saying to yourself at the time. That's what I'm looking for, is just a credible explanation for what you were saying to yourself at the time.
At that time, I was working undercover with the police then.
No. Let's go back.
But that's what I was saying. He was saying he wanted me to fall in love with him. They even had me telling him that I loved him, which I didn't. I said to them, I do not love him. But you've got to tell him that to find out where the money's going. You have to lead him on. Okay,
my point here is, now, I don't know how much money you thought you had, but I have to tell you, Anita, this is a material amount of money to anybody I know. Now, maybe I have poor friends. And I know I'm just a country boy from Texas, but this is a material amount of money to me. Yeah. I would have circled that, but it's up too high. Here's one. This is a material amount of money. You're telling me at no time in that year where you're shoveling this guy hundreds of thousands of dollars, there's no time in there where you say, wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute. This guy just shows up after 30 years and I'm shoveling hundreds of thousands of dollars. You have to give me a credible explanation of what you were saying to yourself. See, I think if I can get you to answer this question for me, you will answer it for you. And if you answer it for you, then maybe I will believe that you won't do this again with him or someone else.
Oh, I'm not going to do this again with anyone.
Oh, you already said you would.
Oh, I'm not going to, though. I'm not going to. I'm not.
Did you ever tell him no?
Yes, I did, and that's when he would say, okay, well, then you can't help me put the fires out. I'm going to jail, then you won't get any of your money back then.
Okay, well, we'll miss you. What do you... Why would you say you're not in love with him?
No.
You have your own family to think of.
Yes.
And he says, okay, so if you're not going to continue to give me an average of $200,000 a month, I'm going to jail. Then bye. I
don't really have an answer for myself. That's why I beat myself up about it all the time. Why did I allow that? Why? I don't know why. I was so weak.
Well, maybe you were in love with him.
If I was, I didn't know it. I truly did not love the man.
And you never...
I didn't have any feelings.
You never had sex with this?
I never did. I never did.
Okay, well, we're going to meet Anita's former housekeeper and friend who says Anita scammed her out of $85,000. A housekeeper scammed out of $85,000. We'll be right back.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL.
I worked for Anita and her husband as their housekeeper. They treated me like I was part of the family. Anita borrowed $85,000 in a course of a week. Anita never paid us back a dime. The checks never cleared. It's terrible. I never dreamed that this would happen to me, not by a friend. It's been hard because my husband and I have worked hard for what we have, and part of that has been taken away. We will never get that money back.
Well, Anita's housekeeper of 12 and a half years, Sue, says she took out a home equity loan and handed over the cash. Sue, thank you for joining us. What were you giving her the money for? What was the explanation to you?
She said she had a chance to buy Super Bowl tickets for her family, and she could not get to her investment. Asked me if I could loan her the $5,000. And I was just thrilled to be able to help her. And I knew she had money. I knew her husband had passed away and had left her a large amount of money. So I knew she had it somewhere.
Were you buying Super Bowl tickets?
No, I was not.
Okay, so that was a lie.
That was one of the scripts the A wrote for me.
Okay. He told you to say that?
Yes.
And then how'd the $85,000 come up?
It all happened like within a week. She wanted more. I can buy more tickets and I can make you some money, but you can only get a certain amount from the bank each time. And I think the most they would give us in one day would be like $10,000.
Are you getting cash?
Yes. We'd go to the bank, get cash. She had to have cash. Okay. We went to the bank, we'd get $10,000 maybe out, give it to her. And she said, oh, and we'd go to another bank and we get more money out there. We did it.
Well,
no explanation.
You trusted her.
I trusted her, exactly.
So how much of that $85,000 do you still owe?
I think the loan is down to $77,000.
You haven't paid her back, right?
No.
Why not? You don't have it?
No, I do not. And
the court ordered you to pay restitution, but you challenged that in court and said I shouldn't be made to pay restitution because I've taken bankruptcy, so that should be discharged. I shouldn't have to pay anybody back.
I don't know that. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm very naive. I didn't. Is that what the attorney said?
Because this woman down here deserves to have her money back.
She does. She does. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing this. I'm putting my heart and my soul and everything out here. I'm doing this.
The court ordered the defendant to complete 100 hours of community service, pay a fine of $5,000 plus court costs, and pay restitution of $426,800 to 19 listed victims. Defendant challenged the authority of court to order restitution because the money stolen have been listed as debts and discharged in the United States Bankruptcy Court. All of the debts involving the victims were discharged. Defendant argues the court cannot order restitution because the debt no longer exists.
I thought they ordered her to pay back.
No, she thinks she does.
I do.
The court kicked that motion to the curb and said, you got to pay them back.
That's right.
They discharged your motion. They said, no, you're going to pay them back.
And that's fine with me. Okay. That's fine with me. That's fine. I want that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing this. I have so much guilt because I allowed somebody to control me like that, and I didn't have the strength to stand up, but I'm standing up now to get those people paid back no matter what.
You're going to pay these people back?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're going to pay Sue back?
Oh, I can't wait. I dream of the day I can walk over to them and say, here's the check, and pay everybody out. That's when my guilt will be gone.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm fighting every day now.
We're going to find out what Sue told us backstage about Anita's relationship with Art when we come back. Closed captioning provided by...
No junk food, please.
Go for the True Moo! It's delicious! And nutritious, with no artificial growth hormones.
True Moo, a truly good thing.
Want to get something off your chest? Sign up for the drphil.com community and weigh in on your favorite episodes and share your personal stories with other community members. Plus, get started on your own blog to share your thoughts on the topics that interest you most. I'll be reading those message boards. Log on to drphil.com today. Well, I'm back with Anita, Angela, and Sue. And the book is Quarterback Sneak, and it's written by Anita. And it is an interesting read. It is well done. I've read it cover to cover, and it is an interesting read, and it was well written. And Your commitment is that the proceeds of this book go to pay back the victims of these crimes.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Sue, I've been trying to get to the motive here. Why would somebody do this?
I don't know.
Do you think she was in love with him?
She says to me, "Oh, guess who I'm seeing?" I don't know. She says, "I'm seeing Art Schleicher, but don't tell I don't want my family to know." She was proud of that. Guess who I'm seeing? It's like, you know.
So she was bragging about it.
Yeah.
I was. I met Art Schleicher, is how I felt at the time. But I'd never had a relationship with him, and I never had an affair with him.
Yeah, you may not have had an affair, but you got screwed. Just saying.
I set you up on that one. Oh, my God.
I do recommend people read it, and for two reasons. I think it's an interesting read, and I do trust that you will give the money back to the people. So there's two reasons to buy that book.
Yeah,
I hope you do. Yes.
I'm hoping that someone will make it into a movie. That way, definitely will. Everybody's saying it would be a good movie, and I am taking no money from this for any income coming in. Yeah. And so I'm working very hard at this.
Well, let's see if we can get these victims whole first.
That's what's going to be first. No, that's first.
I hope that happens, and I wish you well with that.
Thank you, and your staff has been wonderful, and I appreciate this opportunity very much.
Angela, thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much. I want to thank all of my guests. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
The following program contains sexual content. Viewer discretion advised. Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, how could this mother...
Did you beat this child when you were angry?
I probably beat them all on occasion.
Allow her own children...
Did you get upset and burn their Christmas presents?
Yes, I did.
...to be alone with their grandfather.
She knew he was molesting us. She said she loved her dad so much she was willing to give him whatever he wanted.
He was so weak. I didn't think he had the strength. I could be wrong. He was good at what he did.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you.
You know, it was just a few months ago that we aired a show about a mother who left her daughter in the care of a man that she once had accused of molestation. She had accused him of it, said she believed it, but yet left her child in his care. Take a quick look. She reports to you that her father is molesting her, and you continue to deliver her into his hands for 4 months.
I didn't want to believe he would do such a thing to his daughter.
You are the first mother in 45 years that has ever said, my daughter is being molested by a man, and I'm going to deliver her into his hands for 4 more months, knowing what he is doing to her. My first guest today, Angel, says she watched this show from her couch at home. And when she heard me tell the guests those words, she thought, well, you never met my mother. By the way, the father in that show, Dan, took a polygraph test to show that he did not molest his daughter. The results were non-deceptive. He passed that polygraph. But as for Angel, she still claims her mother, Catherine, is evil. Why? She says Catherine left her in the care of a man who allegedly molested Catherine during her own childhood. So who is this man? Angel's grandfather.
Because of my mother, I have scars from the past that I am still trying to overcome. I spent my childhood in fear. When I was around the age of 4, my mother allowed our grandfather to molest me. At the time, my grandfather was dying of cancer. He was bedridden, and my mother allowed him to move in with us. Whenever my mother would leave the house, our grandfather would make us drop our panties and then touch us inappropriately. I believe my mother put us in harm's way, knowing that my grandfather was going to do those things to us because he molested her as well. When I was 18, I confronted my mom about my grandfather molesting me, and she told me that she loved our grandfather so much she was willing to give him whatever he wanted. My mother is evil for not preventing it. She never stepped in to protect us. Because most of my siblings want me to just let this all go, I've had to block them off from my phone, and I had to walk away. Now I only talk to one sibling, which is Kelly. I have a very hard time being around my mom because of the past. My mother has never apologized to me. I believe my mom does hate me.
Okay, Angel, I'm very sorry that this is the topic we're talking about. I'm sorry that you've had to deal with this and are having to deal with it. What you're saying here is that your mother was molested by her father, your grandfather. Mm-hmm. So you're saying, so therefore she knew what his tendencies were, what his perversion was.
Yes.
Okay. You said you had 6 sisters and 1 brother.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, 5 sisters. I'm the 6th.
Okay, so there were 6 girls,
6
1
girls,
boy.
1 boy.
All right. So you said that she knowingly offered you up to this man.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That she would have you lined up.
Our grandfather had us lined up. She would just leave the house knowing what he was going to do, and he would have us line up.
And she knew this?
She knew he was going to molest us.
And when you say lined up, what do you mean?
Well, he was bedridden, so we either had to line up alongside the bed or alongside the couch.
And how old are we talking about here?
I can only remember between the ages of 2 and 7. I don't know. I know. That's all I can remember. I don't know how long it went on for. I just remember lining up, and I don't remember the exact age.
He would put his hands on you inappropriately.
Oh, yeah.
Pull your panties down, touch you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And she knew this?
Well, she knew he was molesting us.
And how do you know she knew?
Yeah, well, the same thing happened with her. And then again, when I was 18, I confronted her on it.
What did you say to her at 18? What were the words you said to her?
First, I asked her if it really happened, because I blocked it out for so many years, and she said, yes, it did happen. And I asked her why, and she said because she loved her dad so much, she was willing to give him whatever he wanted.
So she didn't deny it?
No.
She said, yes, I did that. I was willing to let him do this to my children.
Yeah. I know, a lot of people find that hard to believe.
And what did you say in response to that?
I was just relieved that she answered honestly.
This is not the only resentment, baggage, issues that you harbor with your mother.
Correct.
I mean, that's enough, but
that's the easy one.
Right, there are others.
Uh-huh.
I actually made a list of the major things that you talked about. Number 1 was that she allowed your grandfather to molest you over a 5-year period between 2 and 7.
Yeah, I don't know how long the period was for,
but it was
yes.
in that
time
somewhere
frame.
Between 2 and 7 years of age. That there were regular beatings.
Oh, yes.
That she left you and your siblings alone for 2 weeks with no adult supervision.
Correct.
She burned...
Oh, our Christmas presents.
Your Christmas presents.
Uh-huh.
Well, tell me about this.
I guess we weren't grateful enough or something, and she snapped and took all of our gifts and out to the garbage dump and burned them all.
You say a horse had gotten out, and...
It was missing all winter. We couldn't find him. Come springtime, my mother was walking with her best friend, and I was with them, and come across our dead pony stuck between 2 trees. And she didn't want it there, so she told me to go down there and rip it apart and let it float down the river.
It was wedged between 2 trees.
Mm-hmm.
And you were how old?
13.
And she told you to go down and rip the horse apart?
Yes.
Just with your hands?
So it can float downstream, yes.
You say there were no new clothes. She would buy the other children clothes, but not you.
Well, there was a weekend where she went to Philadelphia to be with her best friend, and she took my other sibling with her, and she had me stay home and watch everyone else. It was fine, I did it anyway. So when she comes back home after being gone for 3 days, she calls me from downstairs, and she had these 3 30-gallon bags full of brand new clothes. And I'm thinking, oh, great, you know, she got me some clothes. And she made me sit there while she handed out every article, piece of clothing to all my siblings. And then when she got done, she looked at me and said, none for you.
Why?
I don't know. That's why I'm here.
Well, you have no theory as to why she would single you out.
I don't know that. Honestly, I was very confrontational. I wouldn't let her beat the kids. Oh, and plus, my dad did name me after his girlfriend.
Angel's mother, Catherine, has been listening backstage. Now, while she admits her father molested her during her childhood, she never thought that he had molested her own children. We're going to talk to her and see what she has to say about that when we come back.
Angel doesn't have a clue what a horrible childhood consists of. I didn't see my father touch Angel. He was hooked up to an IV. I didn't think the man had the strength to do these things anymore.
And later, did you beat this child when you were angry?
I probably beat them all.
Did you get upset and burn their Christmas presents?
Yes, I did.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
I can't go to jail, Bob!
Inside the OJ series.
It is brilliant, informative.
It sends a message that murder is entertainment.
This is not drama. There are 2 people who were brutally taken from us.
The controversy.
It's factual.
It's not 100% factual.
Travolta, Schwimmer, Cuba Gooding. Shame on you guys. You should have called the family.
A Dr. Phil exclusive.
There are revelations.
Who the hell signs a suicide note with a happy face?
It's a shocking document.
With the families.
I'm like seething. I mean, it's disgusting. And Dr. Phil, when I saw that, that is just the epitome of disrespect.
And the people who were there.
You've seen the first episode of this miniseries.
There are some mistakes, and I thought to myself, how many more will there be in the other 9 episodes?
This was our life.
This was a major event in history.
Yes, that only happened because my brother was stabbed to death and Nicole was nearly decapitated.
Have you had any contact with OJ?
Oh, yeah.
Have you forgiven him?
That's Monday.
My mother is abusive, damaged, and hateful. She beat me and my siblings regularly. She would kick, punch, pull her hair. One time in the bathtub, my mother would hold my head under the water until I couldn't take it any longer. After the bath, she sent us to school. My mother was always yelling at me or beating me.
Well, Angel says her mother, Catherine, is abusive, hateful, and allowed her to be molested between the ages of 2 and 7 by Catherine's father. But Catherine says she allowed her dying father to live with them for only a few days, not years, as Angel alleges. Catherine also claims her daughter Angel exaggerates about alleged abuse experienced during her childhood.
Angel thinks she had such a horrible childhood. Angel doesn't have a clue what a horrible childhood consists of. Angel and I were not close when she was growing up. Angel was a bad kid. I think I did pretty good with what I had to work with. Angel had a wonderful childhood as far as I'm concerned compared to what I've known. My father molested me, broke my heart. When Angel was 3 years old, my father was bedridden and dying of cancer. I never thought there would be a problem. So I brought him home. One time I went to borrow sugar next door. When I returned, I saw my father pull his hand out from underneath one of my child's underwear. I didn't see my father touch Angel. He was hooked up to an IV. I didn't think the man had the strength to do these things anymore.
I don't know why she would even let him around us.
I'm not even sure if Angel was molested by my father because she was only 4 years old. For a long time now, Angel's tried to make me her whipping post. Angel exaggerates her childhood to the point where it's extreme. Angel seems to think that I should be held accountable for the bad decisions that she's made in her life. Angel and I have been going at it for years. I'm tired of this battle. She needs to stop.
Well, Angel says she hasn't seen or spoken to her mother in 4 years until right now. So if you would, please, Catherine, come on out. Catherine, Dr. Phil, appreciate your step before you run. You've not seen your daughter in 4 years.
Correct.
And you've not so much as looked at her until just now.
Right.
I have to say, that is really an odd dynamic.
Oh, yeah. I had no idea that this was how she thought, felt, the extremes of it. Because there's a lot of exaggeration.
Well, you know, one of my ways of trying to resolve disputes is to start by seeing what it is we can agree on.
Okay. Okay.
What's not exaggerated, what's not denied, what's not in dispute. First off, she says that you allowed your father, her grandfather, to molest her at some point. She's not saying it went on for 5 years. She's saying sometime between the ages of 2 and 7 that you allowed her to be molested by...
No, it's not true. I didn't allow that. I never... As God's my witness, I didn't think he would do that.
Did he?
Yeah, I caught him.
Pardon me?
I caught him.
You caught him. So you don't dispute that molestation by your father,
on one
her
occasion.
grandfather. You saw it once.
I saw it once.
Do you believe that that's the only time it ever happened? That you caught him the one time it happened?
I didn't leave them alone with him. So that one time, I only ran next door.
So you actually believe that you caught him 100% of the time that he molested
No, I
your
could
children.
be wrong. I could be wrong. He was good at what he did.
You were victimized by this man, right?
Yes.
And I'm very sorry for that. I'm very sorry that you were victimized by him. I'm not glossing over that at all.
Right.
I hate that for you. I hate that for you. I have 2 victims here. And it's as tragic for you as it is for her. But I mean, let's be honest here. You didn't think he was capable of doing it, so therefore you weren't vigilant. Because you didn't think he was capable.
Yeah, so yeah, I was wrong with that. He was so weak. He had a colostomy bag. He had a urine bag. He was all wired up. He didn't think he had the strength.
Yeah. I'm not trying to assign blame. I'm just trying to analyze the situation. Based on the fact that you didn't believe he was capable of it, you will agree that you weren't vigilant.
Yep.
So we can agree that on at least one occasion that you know that he molested at least some of your children.
Yes. Yes.
And very well may have been Angel. You say you question that. It doesn't stand to reason that he would have skipped her.
Right. I just assumed. Maybe I didn't want to believe it. I don't know.
Did you force her to tear a dead horse apart with her hands?
Yeah, I really knew the horse was going to come apart. When she went to pull the pony's leg, it came off.
And later, do you seriously know who her father is?
I'm 99.9% sure.
This February.
The woman accused of pushing her husband to his death.
I'm a horrible person who could do that.
The stakes are higher.
Your daughter is saying there was a struggle. He stumbled and fell backwards. Did you push him out that window?
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
Emotions run deeper.
You're very critical of the woman that has adopted your baby.
She looks like a stripper.
Olivia's been stalking me. Bring the restraining order. I'll show you where you blatantly lied in it. Bring it.
You're in her face saying, you lie, you lie, you lie.
She's a saint. We're the bad people. Is that what you're telling me?
Tempers get hotter.
Our neighbors make our life a living hell.
They set a mortar shell under the swing set and tried to blow it up.
That is not true. We are being harassed.
Put her on a lie detector test.
And I want you to do one too because the machine is going to blow up.
And we're just getting started.
I had a traumatized 3-year-old girl saying, my daddy hurt me.
Where is he going to hurt you at?
A child does not say those things unless she was coached.
You cannot coach a 3-year-old. Ask anyone.
That is coaching.
I came here to help my daughter, and you turned this into a giant circus.
I'm done. Here's the thing. I can't change what happened.
Neither can I.
But what I can do is try to heal where we are now. What can we agree on? Regular beatings.
No. I was more of a screamer, and I'll be honest, I was a coffee mug thrower. I wasn't like Angel says.
There's lots of times where you'd have to hide the kids in the pantry, and then one of us would have to step out. And usually it was me, because everyone else was too chicken.
It's true.
And then
Angel was always the brave one. No, I didn't give her a beating all the time.
Did you take it out on her? Look, you can't change what you don't acknowledge, and there is nothing worse to someone that has been victimized in this way than for those that were involved to invalidate them by saying, I will not even acknowledge what happened to you. That's a whole new transgression. That's a whole new abuse to do that. If you're saying I did not hit you, I did not kick you, I did not slap you, I did not pull your hair, that just never happened, then I mean that's just like abusing her all again today. I don't want you to say you did it if you didn't, but if you did, I mean, what the hell? This is a time to just get it all out on the table.
I think my verbal abuse was worse than my physical abuse.
I'm not asking you to grade them. I'm just asking you to inventory.
Okay. And Mom, I'm not here to nail you to the wall or cross. I just want healing. For all of us. I just want it all out. And
so do I, baby.
And I just want to be done.
Did you beat this child when you were angry?
I probably beat them all on occasions.
Okay.
When the way I was raised, we were beat. Society raised me. I was beat. That's all I knew. I taught what I knew.
Well, thank you for that candor. I thank you for that candor. So there were times in anger and tantrum where you snapped and you did beat the children, including Angel. You said she's the one that stepped out, so she caught the brunt of it, probably more often than the others.
Yeah, probably.
So there were times you did beat her.
Probably, yeah.
Well, not you either did or you didn't.
There were more times. Yeah.
I didn't say more or less. You either beat her or you didn't.
Yes.
Okay. Did you leave the siblings alone for 2 weeks without adult supervision?
No.
She was supposed to babysit us, and
I was gone for a week.
All right, it was a week then. But she didn't babysit us. She left.
I wasn't aware of that, Angel, until I got home. I left them with a babysitter.
Who bailed on you?
Who bailed on me, yeah.
But they were left unsupervised?
Yes, they were. Okay. Not by me, by the babysitter.
Did you get upset and burn their Christmas presents?
Yes, I did. That was in the summertime. Yes, I did.
Did you force her to tear a dead horse apart with her hands?
Yeah, I really knew the horse was going to come apart. No, we went down, the horse was missing. It was a pony. It was a very old pony, Flicka. We were looking all over for the pony. We went down to the creek, and the pony was wedged between, they weren't trees, but they were pieces, large pieces of branch that had fallen down. And it was blocking, that's how I found out, it was blocking the flow of water.
That's right.
And the neighbors, the farmer down below wanted to know why the runoff wasn't coming. And we found Flicka in the creek, and I had asked a couple of the girls to try to de-wedge the pony, you know what I mean? Let's get and I didn't know it, for God's sake. If I'd have known that, I would have. When she went to pull the pony's leg, it came off. Okay? Who's going to think that's going to happen?
You weren't there.
I was there.
As it turned out, she did pull the horse apart.
She pulled the horse loose, and then it went down.
Piece by piece off.
The leg came off.
I really did.
The leg came off.
Okay.
No.
Because when we talked to you earlier, you said you had Animal Services come do that, but in fact, it was her.
No, Animal Services came when they used to have to come, and we lived on a farmette out there, and I
know, but that's what you told us when we asked you about it the first time.
I don't recall that.
Well, I do. Did you buy all the kids new clothes, but not her?
Yeah, I did that one summer.
Okay.
Angel was told all the girls had jobs, teenagers, okay, earning a little bit of a living. You got to learn to work. Angel didn't want to work and earn money. Angel she just didn't want to work. She was Angel. She was sort of like the movie star of the house. Excuse me for saying that, but that's just, you know, this can be backed up by other
At the age of
siblings
12,
and all
I
that.
did the dog grooming, and then I did all the babysitting.
Right. This was disciplinary.
Yes,
thing.
there was a reason for it. Yes, I did.
Right. Kelly, one of Catherine's other daughters, has been listening backstage. She claims that Catherine considers herself to be a great mother, even though she admits she failed her children. We'll talk to Kelly when we come back.
My mom has always been abusive, but I don't think that an apology from my mom is going to be enough for Angel. My mom disregards the bad things that she did to us as kids.
And later, who's Kelly's father?
It's not the guy she thinks it is. I can 100% tell you that.
Angel says her mother, Catherine, is evil for not only verbally and physically abusing her as a child, but also allowing Catherine's father to molest her. Now, she says that's how she feels about what happened, but yet she says, I do want to put that behind me. I do want to build a relationship here. Angel's younger sister, Kelly, says she isn't sure that Angel will get the accountability she's looking for from her mother because Catherine considers herself to be a great mom. Take a look at this.
From as far back as I can remember, my mom has always been abusive. If we didn't clean the house, she would beat us. If we were acting up in the car and my mom got angry, she would threaten to smash the car into a tree if we didn't stop. I know what my mother did was wrong. I know that she's sorry for a lot of it, and I have forgiven her for a lot of it. I don't hate her for it, but I don't think that an apology from my mom is going to be enough for Angel. My mom disregards the bad things that she did to us as kids, and I don't like it.
Kelly, thank you for joining us. When you were growing up in this household, it sounds to me like it was laced with dysfunction at every level. Is that true?
Yes, that's true.
And there were a lot of kids and a single mother, and that can make for chaos.
Yeah.
Was it chaotic?
It was very chaotic, yeah.
Was your mother abusive?
Yes.
Was she abusive to you?
Yeah.
Were you molested during this period of time?
No.
Okay, so you escaped that. And do you feel that Angel is stuck in this history? Is this something you want to see her get past? Do you think she has legitimate complaints here? What's your feeling about this?
Yeah, I do think Angel's very stuck. I think that this is touching every area of her life, and there's a lot of healing that hasn't taken place. I think they both deserve that.
I'm very frustrated and angry because that's the one excuse you've always told people is I didn't work, I didn't do a lot of things, and I was a bad kid. I was actually one of the best ones you had. Nobody stepped in with those kids but me. I did a lot of the chores, and if the chores didn't need to be done, I was busy making sure the kids were safe. Where did I fail? And plus, then I did work at the department store. I did work, and you've always used that against me. Like, didn't matter what I did, it was never good enough.
Everyone's getting along fine except you, babe.
No.
Do you remember?
They're pretending it didn't happen.
They're not pretending it didn't happen. They know what happened. I've talked to them about it.
Did you blame it all on them, though? Did you blame it on them?
Getting along.
Okay,
You're blaming everything on me.
No, I'm not. I'm worried about you.
When you say, well, she was being punished, she didn't work, she didn't like to work. Angel was.
You didn't work that summer that we're talking about. That summer with the clothes I bought.
You were going through a divorce, and you were busy partying all the time. Somebody had to be home with the kids.
You're talking about one summer,
That's
Angel.
the summer we're talking about. That's the summer you screwed me. That's the summer where you made me sit there and hit one. That's the summer I stepped up.
So
and then you screwed me.
I kept asking you, Angel, were you going to work and babies? You didn't want to.
I'm watching the kids. Somebody had to be
Angel,
there.
I didn't work.
Mom, you're unfunctional. I'm not leaving my kid.
I'm going to be honest with Dr. Phil. Just like in my tapes, I had no business having children from where I came from. But I had them, and I did the best I could do with what I had to work with.
Well,
And my goal was to make them strong and make them functional to be able to survive in that world. And I've done that pretty good with 6 out of 7.
Who's the 7th?
I have 7 children.
You said 6 out of 7 are okay, and the 7th one.
This nut.
The one right here, Dr. Phil.
She's the one that's having all these problems that I'm hearing.
One of the things you said was interesting. You said, in a perfect world, I want Dr. Phil to fix my angel. I know Daddy Warbucks has a lot of resources, and he's intelligent, so he will know what to do.
Well, I have been so impressed. I've never seen money spent the way you spend money. So, yeah, you're Daddy Warbucks, in my mind, where I came from.
You got a new nickname.
Not to be disrespectful.
Oh, no.
Did you take that as disrespectful? No. That's not how that was meant.
No.
I wish I had a Daddy Warbucks.
I'm very thick-skinned. I'm very thick-skinned. Who's Kelly's father?
I don't know.
She don't.
Well, we're going to talk about that because it's a big question Kelly has. And it's a big question that she has been tormented by her entire life. And she says it's a secret her mother, Catherine, refuses to reveal. We'll be right back.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil, Inside the OJ series.
Have you had any contact with OJ?
Oh, yeah.
A Dr. Phil exclusive.
There are revelations.
It's shocking.
It's disgusting.
All new Dr. Phil. That's Monday.
My mom was married 3 times. In between her first and second marriage, she had a relationship with 2 different men. My mother named one of those men as my biological father. I didn't learn that I had a different father until I was 10. My mom told me that she took my biological father for paternity, and he paid the doctors to have the test say that we were negative for a match. I think my mom believes that that is the truth. I have trouble believing. I have a number of family members who continue to come to me over the years telling me it's not him, it was this other guy. You look like this other guy. I've had that conversation with my mom, and she gets upset. I just want to get to the bottom of it. I want to know who my father is. I want to know where I come from. I just want my mom to tell me the truth about who he is.
Well, 2 of Catherine's children are here today, each with different issues with their mother. Angel accuses Catherine of allowing her grandfather to molest her. Kelly says Catherine refuses to reveal who her father really is. Now, I've got one question here before I talk about this paternity issue. Do you recall Angel coming to you when she was 18?
No, I don't recall that. I'm sorry, but no.
Do you recall saying that you loved him enough that...
No, I never said that. Your imagination has a way of running a little bit too far down the road, baby girl. I never said that.
What you told us is you said she might have, and I don't remember it. I'm not calling her a liar, but I can't remember her bringing it up. That's what you said.
Mm-hmm. I did love my father, but I didn't. You took that in an entirely wrong context. I didn't mean I loved him to give him permission to hurt my babies. I didn't mean that I loved him. I did. I idolized my father. He was my hero before I realized what was going on.
Did you call the police?
I called the VA hospital and told them to come get him out of my home immediately, and they did. He's already been to a court prior to that. There is no cure for that disease.
Well, Angel says that a family friend raped her. He was
raped you?
No, molested me.
Well, okay, let's
Sorry.
just call it whatever you want.
Uh-huh. Big difference between rape and
you said that she actually seduced him.
She didn't seduce him. Angel was a very flirtatious child.
You told us, and I quote, she wanted him.
No.
I think she was like 16 when that happened.
I didn't tell you that.
Pardon me?
I didn't tell you that.
That is what you said.
And I'm not flirtatious. Sorry.
Do you seriously know without the shadow of a doubt who her father is?
Who, Kelly?
Yes.
I'm 99.9% sure. It's not the guy she thinks it is. I can 100% tell you that. I met this other guy after I was already 2 months pregnant for Kelly. And that's why, and I dated him. And that's
I don't necessarily think it's one or the other. It's just, and it's not that I don't believe my mom. I believe that she believes what she's telling me is the truth. But it's just really difficult to believe that somebody has that kind of pull to
pay off the doctors. I find that very hard to believe.
So do I.
You would like to know.
I would.
Would you like some help in trying to track these candidates down and see if we can get some information for you?
I would like that a lot.
Because would be my pleasure to do that.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll see if we can get you some answers, not opinions. We'll see if we can get you some answers to that if they will do so. You don't want anything from them, you just want answers.
No, just answers.
Yeah. So, where do you go from here? What do you want?
Everything's still getting blamed on me, and I'm tired of...
Right, I take it back, Angel.
You don't have to, it's just, everything's...
I'm very sorry. I never meant to hurt you. I love you, believe it or not.
I love you too, but it just still seems like everything that's ever bad that's happened to me is somehow always been my fault. It's always been my fault.
You certainly don't want to continue feeling the way you are feeling, but yet this history can be very, very confining. Mm-hmm. But there are some things to do. I'm going to talk about that when we come back. Frankly, there's so much wrong here. Mm-hmm. We're talking about everything that you can possibly imagine in terms of the development of a child across time. And I'm saying that to you in your development as a child, when you were growing up, and the same thing with you as a development child. And here's the thing about legacy. The legacies get passed from generation to generation. And that can be a good thing if you're talking about healthy aspects of a family. But if you're talking about toxic things like molestation and abuse and abandonment and neglect and bitterness and anger and all of those things, you don't want those things to be passed from generation to generation. But that's what's happened here. And you have to make a decision that you are going to stop this at this point. And let me just tell you, every relationship you lose is not a loss.
Oh, I know.
You cannot possibly be proud of many of the things that transpired in your role as a mother.
No, heck no.
You can't be proud of your temper. You can't be proud of the things that you made. You say, look, I never had a role model. Nobody ever taught me what to do. And I heard you say early on, she thinks she had it tough. She should have looked at my childhood. That doesn't even qualify as molestation. You ought to look at what happened to me. I mean, that's molestation that's junior varsity molestation compared to what I was. You're comparing it like, you know, that doesn't make her pain, her hurt, impact on her any less. And I don't. That doesn't mean because yours was a long, long, long time ago that makes the distortion that it's created in your life any better. It doesn't. That's never been healed in you. And so it's created this terrible value system in you where things that you're treating as okay are not okay. Decisions you make are coming from a very distorted point of view. You have made some serious mistakes as a mother, and you've acknowledged some of those things today, and I think you have to agree. She has acknowledged some things today. That's good. But look, there comes a point where you have to give yourself what you wish you could get from somebody else.
Okay.
You know, there comes a point where you wish you had a mother and father that were healthy, vibrant, and had the capacity to give you the messages that you need to heal, the messages that you need to be validated, the messages that you need to be okay. And your mother never got those messages.
Right.
And it is really hard to give away what you don't have. This show without you, our studio audience.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Because we have a lot of fun here, don't we?
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445.
You have to get to the point where you say, I choose to be better than I was yesterday. And a big part of that is to choose to forgive. And forgiving doesn't mean forgetting. And forgiving doesn't mean that what happened was okay. What it means is you say, I forgive, which is a choice, not a feeling. I forgive because I refuse to be locked in a bond of hatred, bitterness, resentment for the rest of my life with these people.
Okay.
And that's what will happen. That's what will happen. And you get locked in there, and when I say locked in there, give me your hands. I mean, you are locked in just that way. And it doesn't matter. You can try to get away. You can try to look aside. You can try to move away. But you're not. You're locked in right there.
Yeah, I know. I feel it.
And you get there, and you can't move. You can't. And it doesn't matter if you have children, you have a husband, you have a career, you have a future. Every time you try to get by, they're right there until you go, you know what? No, thank you. That's what you have to decide to do. And when you have been through what you have been through, when you have been molested, there's very specialized care for helping to heal those wounds. I want to arrange for you to have that kind of help. I want to arrange for you to have that kind of help. Because you may think, oh, yeah, I'm past all. No, you're not. You got hurt early on, and you've carried that burden for a long, long time. And it's distorted the way you've impacted those around you and the way you feel about who you are. And you are worthy of somebody caring for you instead of judging you. And I want to try to help you instead of judge you. Okay? And you're worth the trouble. I'm not here to throw you under the bus. Okay. And maybe at some point, in strength, you can begin with boundaries to build a relationship. And it may start with lunch and rules. We just talk about the here and now. And then maybe in time, we can choose a topic and we can talk about something from the past. And if that goes well, then maybe another time we can talk about something else. But not until you have the strength to know that you're okay from the inside out. Will you take that help?
Yes.
Will you take that help? All right. I want to thank all of my guests today. We will see you next time. Okay. We're going to work on this. We're going to work on this. We're going to find out. Okay? All right, good.
Bye.